Hello, everybody, and welcome to our long awaited session 1 of Neon Quartz.
Session 1, episode 2.
Yes.
Technically so. First session was session 0.
Yeah.
Yep.
Episode 1 was session 0. This is
That's definitely
session 1,
not
episode
confusing
2.
at all.
Then we'll
We
have session 2, episode 3, and no one will get lost.
We
It'll make sense.
definitely planned to take the cyberpunk hype and do it the weekend
We
of
totally
Cyberpunk.
planned this. Yes.
Totally planned it. We're very savvy business people to our 3 viewers.
This is how we're going to get
ourselves.
big. This is how we're going to get big in Twitch, and soon CD Projekt will be begging to sponsor us.
Sure? I wrote my own game.
Special guest Keanu Reeves.
I actually...
I mean, I hear he's pretty easy to direct, so I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah. Yes. Keanu, what's your experience with role-playing games? We're not sure if we're feeling it out. Are you ready for a project of this caliber?
Yeah.
Yes.
We can offer you money, but we can't offer you limited exposure.
Experience as well. It's very
money
important.
Nor exposure.
But we can offer experience in the lucrative business of role-playing games.
Yes.
No. I know how much I made on role-playing games this year. I have a real number, and it's not a big one.
Same.
There is
I am astonished
a limited number of digits involved.
Yeah. But yeah. So, what is City of Mists, to summarize for those who might have skipped session 0 and everything? And what is our campaign about, Zen?
Oh, you want me to answer that? Okay.
You're the GM.
Yeah.
You think I read these things?
I just assume you read it more than us.
He did the equivalent of when
no,
you
the
spin
GM
the
is a player
globe
too.
and
We don't read the book
map.
either.
Yeah, true. I agree with that statement. You are free to pull out your book and read from it.
No, but basically, City of Mist is a narrative RPG. It's in its reptile brain. It is powered by the apocalypse, so you'll see moves and things like that within the mechanics. But largely, it's narrative driven using tags as the main mechanic. The supposition with City of Mist is that you are both ordinary people and fused with a legend of some kind or some
Power.
Some kind of power like resides within you. So that leads it more to the superhero genre, I guess you would say. But it's also very investigative based and aims to be within the noir genre. I guess that's the easiest way of describing it, because there's a lot of moving parts and it's a very specific game as far as the setting and how it all works.
The closest touchstone that I've encountered, I think, would be Jessica Jones. For me, at least.
Yeah. It does that well. It does, if you're familiar with American Gods, it would do that well.
Probably Wolf Among Us also.
Oh, Wolf Among Us, yes.
I don't know what Wolf Among Us is. Is
It's
that a bad
good
werewolf drama?
Game. It's a good werewolf detective game. Telltale.
I want werewolf dramas.
It is basically a werewolf drama.
It is. It's a werewolf drama detective.
I want poorly acted, daytime television werewolf dramas. There's enough of them, but none of them are good.
You want telenovela werewolf drama?
No, sci-fi originals. It's just B-list actors that get a long-term deal.
They had one of those. Was it called Bitten? Something like that?
I couldn't get into Bitten. No. I really couldn't.
Yeah, you can see how far I got with it. I can barely remember the name.
Yeah. I watched the first season.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Worst.
so our take on this is the major conceits of City of Mist are right within the name. There is a city, and it is misty. The mist is, I don't want to say sentient, but it does, it has influence over the city.
The Mist has read the script.
Basically.
Mhm.
So there's two types of people in the city. There's those touched with legends, and then there's sleepers. Sleepers are unaware of any of the fantastic goings on in the city, and the mist keeps them that way.
Sometimes, if necessary, to extreme lengths.
Yeah, it can make people forget what they've seen, or just slightly change what they've seen from, a magician throwing a fireball at someone to, a car exploded because the gas tank
Yeah.
was faulty. Yeah, and the city that we're placing this in is, because we're sellouts, in the cyberpunk.
It's not
No,
in the
we're not
cyberpunk
sellouts.
world,
Universe.
but it is a cyberpunk tone and aesthetic.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
we said Cyberpunk first, and then we
You
got
did.
to City of Mist.
Way before the 5 years ago when they first announced the game, definitely.
No, I mean when we picked the game, we picked Cyberpunk first, and then we picked City of Mist.
I think you're right, but I don't remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did.
We decided on Cyberpunk, but we didn't want to play Shadowrun because Shadowrun is very, very complicated
Yeah, I think.
For
That's
now.
the slog.
for now.
Yep. Let's see how certain upcoming
catch you
game
next year.
goes. Yeah.
Oh,
Catalyst Games, hire me. I'll redo the whole thing.
Yes. I'm sure the exact same fan base who loves Shadowrun as is will
Yeah,
jump at
they'll
Shadowrun
jump at this.
as you've made.
They'll jump at my 25-page.
Thing is, I think some people
reduction.
actually might, but some people would want their.
What you
dice
have to do
buckets.
is just do like what happened to D&D. You just do like advanced Shadowrun and
I'm
then
just gonna
like
call it
easy
Shadowrun.
Shadowrun.
I'm gonna call it Shadowrun 7.
Shadow
but it has no...
Jog.
Shadow
Walk.
Shadows 11 something.
Shadow Sachet.
Shadows in the dark.
Shadow.
That's actually not bad.
Oh, my real name's so much worse.
The redundancy of Shadows in the Dark is somehow.
I do like it. I mean, it makes no sense, but I like it.
Runners in the Shadows already, I think, is a thing, though. But I haven't looked.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shadows dark.
Can we make a Shadowrun hack that's about like geriatric individuals that are just trying to get out and get some exercise, just shadow power walkers?
Well, I think there's a game where is there a game I think about a bunch of people who are like locked into an old folks home and are trying to escape it. That's like a reverse heist game. Exists.
If it does, we totally need to play that.
There's
game.
there's a Golden Girls lasers and feelings hack.
That might have been.
I forgot about that.
Think your stats are like Golden and Grandma.
I'm imagining an old folks home escape heist game. It would just be an amazing one shot.
Make it to the liquor store or something because they won't let you out.
Yeah.
That's the game.
My kids haven't seen me in 20 years. I'm gonna go see them myself.
No,
They won't
Ma,
let me
stay
leave.
home. We're sick. The whole like COVID thing. It's a thing. No, stay there.
Oh no, that would be it. They're like, I haven't seen my family in forever. I'm gonna go see them myself.
Yep.
Oh god, that's
Actually,
a really
movie
dark
outside.
game. That's a dark
So
adventure. That could be a Shadowrun adventure. We could write that Shadowrun adventure. It would not fit at all, and nor would it be legal. But
It's
Yeah.
only legal if we make money off of it.
Depends on. Sometimes
depends on
Nintendo
how-
is the worst. Say.
yeah, if they Nintendo or Disney us, we have a problem.
That's fair.
Let's see how long it takes Disney to buy out CD Projekt.
Oh no. No.
Oh, I'm
then
waiting
then
for
the
the hyper-
actual cyberpunk
don't-
future we see in that game will be real.
I'm ready
Will
for the
inch
Hypermedia
one-
Corporation.
No,
That
but CD
Hypermedia.
Projekt Red is like the last good developer, like high-profile developer left that hasn't been gobbled up by some soulless
Wait,
piece
I'm
of
not gonna-
garbage.
I'm not gonna
EA,
call them
fuck
good.
you.
They had like endless crunch.
They
for
had
that
endless
game.
crunch after promising no crunch. That's the biggest
Yeah,
one.
I mean, they can't be like, oh, we're the big bastions of
They're
indie
far
games
from
when
the
they fucking
worst.
crunched their development.
I mean, Last of Us 2 also had crunch. Like, they're far from the worst developers.
Yeah, Nintendo doesn't do crunch though.
Do they not? Oh.
No, for Animal Crossing, they released it late to stop crunch. Like, they specifically have been pushing deadlines to cut
Okay.
crunch.
See, yeah, that's unusual.
Yeah.
Good.
They-
But most delays, I
Nintendo
think people have said
typically-
most delays are because are adding more crunch.
Yeah, like development wise, they typically I think kick a lot of those trends. Like I forget what game it was, but some game did badly, and I think the leader of Nintendo took a pay cut. Like the CEO took a pay cut instead of like laying people off.
It's good. Yeah,
That mean
no,
the
there's
CEO of Sony's going to take a pay cut over that.
Oh,
Avenger?
hell no.
No, he's not.
Not even a little bit.
I do-
Maybe a raise.
with cyber projects, Cyberpunk. I kind of get why there were so many delays because a game like this, while very good, and I still do want to keep playing it, the game is about the setting, whereas The Witcher was about a specific character and story, and you had a lot more foundation.
Mhm.
And I think probably took a while for them to get a good direction. I can't imagine how many things were probably cut for this game. Didn't they cut a whole origin, a whole background, or was that re-added?
I'm not sure. I've always heard there was just the 3.
Okay,
I only
then-
remember the 3 from the rule set, the original rule set, but
I think at one point someone was talking about how they were going to cut it down to 2. Obviously, there's 3 now, so that's not the case.
probably would end up cutting the nomads then, and that probably was
No!
just for space,
love the
because
Nomads.
if you just cut it down to just Night City rather than anything on the outer edges,
Yeah.
you've got a whole lot less problems.
That's true. And
Because
I started as Corpo, and I wanted to see the Nomad after Jordan talk about it.
Nomads feel like lore wise like the only good people left, right? Because they don't go in the cities, they just sort of like stay out and like do their own thing and try and be good people.
Yep.
Yeah, it's very fun.
But we have our own cyberpunk themes to explore.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
Speaking
our
of
setting,
let's do our setting.
let's summarize our setting. We had a whole session 0 about it before. It's not like as advanced as normal
It is.
cyberpunk.
It is a
Correct.
normal
Yeah.
city with cyberpunk
Creeping
tacked
into
on.
it. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Cyber-
it
reminds
what
me
happens
more
with
of-
the
if you will.
progression.
yeah.
Um,
It reminds me more of Deus Ex: Human Revolution, where it's kind of at that transition period between 2.
Yeah. This is before we've bulldozed all the remaining buildings and built huge arcologies gleaming in the sun. Like we still have normal
We have a
city
couple-
infrastructure. We've got some
except for one.
megalithic, towers and stuff.
Yeah, we have
bigger
the
than
one
normal.
pyramid. We don't have the 7 cyber pyramids of the apocalypse or whatever. Except the one.
the 7 cyber pyramids that keep the Great Firewall up.
The Great Firewall, yes!
Yeah, so our city it's sort of on the verge of becoming cyberized. Like we're just at the point now where cybernetics are becoming mass marketed to those who can afford them, namely the middle class and up, although the middle class has been shrinking.
Yep.
Let's see, there's a citywide augmented reality web network, basically, that
It's called the
replaced the
Mist?
internet and makes it it's called the Ether.
The
It's
ether.
the Ethernet.
Mystic Mist.
It's, I think, intended to almost be the counter to the Mist, in that the Mist is a supernatural force that exists everywhere, and this is just entirely.
Yeah, this is
an
like
AR
the
net.
techno mist.
I think
It's
altered carbon is
yeah.
the closest one I can.
yeah, it's basically an ever-present HUD display on again those who can afford the service and the equipment. That has largely replaced billboards and advertising around the city. So in order to see the real glitz and glamour of the city, you need to be jacked into this matrix.
And the speed limit signs.
I doubt that.
But
That's
Sorry,
how they
all
pay for it. They get a
advertising
lot
is
of
all
tickets.
done through
Slow
AR. Your general interface with the city is heightened tenfold by just having the AR with you. The city itself, like most densely packed metropolitan areas, I mean, it's beautiful from sightline up, but you start looking down and it's awful. There's garbage in the streets. There's a rampant poverty problem. A lot of people struggling to make it in the city. And as a result, things happen that require outside agencies to step in for the little guy. And that's where you guys come in.
Yep.
That's a bold statement of our goodwill.
That's where we exist. Maybe
That's our ad. Is we step in for the little guy. That's our
Yeah.
advertising.
that probably is.
Yeah.
Call us for rates,
Okay,
little
so
guy.
I will restate that there is an opportunity to exploit the little guy for money by solving their problems, and that's where you come in.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we're just also the little guy is the problem. We need to pay.
But we're
you
the
know,
we're the medium
the
ish fish.
well. I'm
As a
beholden
company,
to
I
a
still
pizza
say we're a little
conglomerate.
Okay.
So
We are the slightly smaller than the smallest fish. Eating
We're
the
not the
smallest fish.
smallest. We're working our way up.
So yeah, we are a PI firm called Golden Goose Mysteries, and we investigate different. We specialize in like weird, unexplainable cases. This session
specializes in the cases that everyone else turns down.
specializes in we're the last one who'll
We'll take anything.
No stone left unturned.
Yep.
If it'll pay to keep the lights on, we'll be on the streets for you.
It's a
We
great
got the
business
scratch.
model.
We got the time.
And I think this session is going to start off with almost a introduction, if I'm not mistaken, to each of our characters in just as we're getting this company kind of started thing. I have some ideas as to how we might know each other. I'm sure we've all thought about this. But the first thing we need to talk about is where our office would be located. I have an idea. So, firstly, are we all good with it starting in the old quarter of the district? The like still yet to be. It's the most aged and least advanced quarter.
Yes.
Yes, but only if our office was obviously something other than an office beforehand.
I was thinking our office was either in the basement or attic of a physical media shop. This is vinyls, this is books, this is USBs. It's a used bookstore and a record store
Would
at
you
the
have
same
like
time.
a well-appointed office or something like that?
Yeah, it's one of our things.
Yes,
it's like upstairs from a
it's
record
welcoming,
store.
and that's true. But this in the intro, when I'm just unpacking there, it's probably kind of a mess. And then I think after the flash
After the pilot episode,
if we're going forward a couple months, then it'll be established.
Okay.
So, yeah. If we're good with that, then we need a name for it. I like the idea hands-on, but it also sounds like a strip club.
Maybe it used to be a strip club, and then they made it into a record store.
Okay,
but
record
they
stores
kept the name.
follow
It goes the other way. It goes the
record stores follow a very specific naming nomenclature. Usually, it is word records.
But it's
Arrows Aim Records,
I
Park
think with
Ave CDs. That is the naming culture of record stores.
With the
That
rise
is the
of like
footprint it takes.
AR media, I think that this is inclusive of records, but I would imagine the equivalent of cyberpunk hipsters have also spread out to wanting all physical media because that's the thing is like
actual CD-ROM.
Actual CD-ROMs, actual Blu-rays, and physical USB drives. It's insane.
I mean, I have a pile of HD DVDs because I'm trying to hunt down the Xbox 360 add-on HD DVD reader because that is my only goal with this. I'm saying that's already happening.
Yes.
This is not a cyberpunk future. This is a hipster present.
That's what I mean, though.
Right.
Is we need. I think that I like the idea that those kind of it's not just records that a bunch of different physical medias have conglomerated to one catch-all term of some kind.
It's called Radio Shack.
It could just be like
I actually like that.
Radio Shack is done. We
Radio
can
Shack
steal
is
their
dead.
name.
We can steal their name, and that's a great name.
you could just make it old sound. Like I like having old in it because it's the old quarter. So they used old something.
Old scratch records.
Old scratch shack.
Yeah.
I like Old Scratch Records and Shack, actually. I think let's go with records.
Yeah, Old Scratch Records works.
Nice.
And that way, when they come back saying this record has a scratch on it, well, yeah, duh, there's a sign.
That's the feature, not the bug.
You get what you paid for. Old
Now.
scratch.
Attic or basement?
Attic.
I like
Attic.
attic.
Okay.
Yeah, we're the floor above. You just gotta access us from inside the record store.
In
We
before
don't
the flash
have-
forward, yes, and then eventually, once this is established, I'm planning to have a separate entrance.
Why do we? I don't think we have a private entrance.
I like the idea that the record store lets you set up in like I'd imagine it's the attic, but it used to be like the
It used to
person
be the
who
apartment.
owned the like
Yeah,
the
it used to be the
apartment,
apartment on top of the shop.
Yeah.
and they let you stay up there because they're like, okay, you bring people in, they have to come through the store. That way we could try to
that's
sell to
we
them.
get a deal on rent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's why. So they have to like
Detective agency is an attraction for foot traffic.
Yep.
listen.
Yeah.
We know people coming with problems. We'll sell them some blues records.
It's like the
you know, if they're
tattoo
mad,
shop
we'll
at
sell
the
them some
back of the
metal.
head shop. It's the tattoo shop at the back of the head shop. It's the same thing.
Mm.
Okay. Perfect. So yes, I think we'll start off by establishing. I mean, Sandy, you can take over.
Yeah.
obviously.
No,
But I
yeah,
think-
definitely. No, this session is for you guys to author and ground the characters in the real world of the city.
Yes.
So take all the liberties you want, and I will build off of them.
How out of order is inside the record store an escalator that leads to our office?
I don't. If it's just a
Escalator
an
or
apartment, it
elevator?
wouldn't have an
Old
escalator.
quarter. I'd say just stairs.
But old quarter when?
Yeah, that's true. Old quarter for modern. I think an escalator doesn't make sense if it's just to an apartment, but an elevator, especially if it's for someone who was old enough that they might be mobility impaired, might make sense.
Yeah, it's like one of those 2-person elevators. It's
Yeah,
cramped as
oh,
hell.
it's the really-
Like,
it's the
all
really
all the way up.
Yeah.
It's the really small elevator that doesn't have a closing door. It's like literally like a thing you like pull and you can
Yeah,
see out of
and
it.
it goes up one floor.
Yeah,
It goes
there
like-
are stairs as well, but they're like to the back entrance where we park.
like it's faster to walk up the stairs than it is to take the elevator.
There's got to be stairs for a fire escape, but the
I
main
reckon-
entrance is assumed
Yeah.
by elevator. We have like our sign over the elevator.
Eventually, this will be a welcoming office, but right now it looks like you might be walking into a horror movie, like this rusty cage with. I don't think there's even
Light
a real.
flickering above you. And...
So, actually, I think if we're good, Marissa, we can start with the job interview for you. It's perfect as an intro.
She feels like she's gonna get her kidneys taken out. Going to this-
I would imagine.
Walk in, there's just a
um,
bathtub full of ice. Like,
Don't mind that. It's for my knee.
I would
It's for my
imagine
knee.
Nicole, you arrive, get off of the city bus, arrive in front of this record, Old Scratch Records, or told the address of. Again, it's weird because I'm sub GM. That's what it feels like right now.
no, that's. I'll step in if there's anything we need to, make
Yeah.
a point of. But other than that, you're good.
What do you?
I will
like?
say that this particular neighborhood, it's not unsafe, but maybe stay off the streets at dark. It's one of those.
Yeah. Okay.
like Mardi Gras.
With knives, yeah.
Yeah, instead of beads getting knives thrown at you.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
so Nicole kind of steps off the bus and is looking around. It's that kind of nervousness of, okay, this is a job interview. I want to do well. Am I at the right place? Am I 15 minutes early? Is this going to work out well? Okay, just calm down because this isn't going to work so well if you're not calm. And
So what do we see when we see Nicole step off? Like, describe what she looks like as she's stepping off the bus.
absolutely. So when you see Nicole, you see someone who kind of looks like they just stepped out of an Elvis impersonation show for women. If Elvis was pretending to be a detective.
Googling.
Detective
Elvis.
Elvis.
There's this like long white trench coat and rhinestones just everywhere, like a Barbie pink sparkling fedora, and like every seam on this coat and all of her clothing is like highlighted with just neon strips of boots and whatnot. Basically, you look at her for too long and you're going to feel like you're going blind. The most confusing and kind of stand out thing that is probably about her, if there is anything that is more or less stand out about this glowing blob of a person, is probably her hair. It's not really apparent if she has any actual natural hair, because basically what she got is just tubes of like neon dreadlocks coming out that are kind of pulled back in a ponytail right now, and just pinks and oranges and greens and blues, and there is not a natural color to be seen there. Yeah, so she kind of steps out of the thing, and if it was dark, it's only slightly more so now, and she does not look in place with these old buildings at all. So,
I would imagine Zen. I have no idea what it would look like for when she would walk into the record store itself. There's probably in like the left corner, I'd imagine, of the entrance. As you step inside this like rusted cage of an elevator there. I don't think there's even a sign yet. Actually, this is like very early.
Okay. So
Maybe, yeah.
you walk into the record store. There's like milk crates full of old records just like set up on shelves, and like, it rows and rows of tapes and 8 tracks and some digital storage, and a portly guy with a full beard wearing a hat kind of like mine and a set of sunglasses looks up and says, "Hey baby, you looking for some vintage?"
no, I'm not looking for any. I thought there was an interview here. I'm here for, and she kind of looks down at her.
Oh, if you
slip of
applying,
paper.
we hiring.
And she says, "Golden Goose Mysteries, is that in this section?"
Oh yeah. You take the elevator in the back. You want to talk to Rylan? He just moved up there.
Thanks.
I already love this man. He's like a bluesy man.
Oh, just the old gross guy at the record
It
store.
it feels like as soon as you're done talking, there should be like a blah, 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 blah. Like,
That's why we call me Old Scratch.
Perfect.
Head on over to the elevator and, head on up, like breathing, keeping calm. This is gonna go well. We're gonna be fine.
So the elevator like ascends, and like the creaking and groaning, like you grab onto the side rails as it goes up,
Oh, yeah, you
because it's
see
just
the wall of
shakes.
the elevator shaft. Too. It's not
Yeah.
like a door; it's the like pull grate
yeah.
style. You see the wall of the elevator shaft. Eventually, I think we'll put posters up in there, but we'll get there.
Yeah. One thing at a time.
And it finally creaks into place with a thunk, and then you hear that somewhat welcoming ding, and the door, like, you can pull it back open. And go ahead and describe what the current office setup looks like.
Because there are stairs down to the back as well, there's probably a small, like very small, you can barely fit in it yourself hallway.
Mustard yellow walls,
Definitely.
Flickering lights,
unfinished
like
floors.
buzzing and flickering.
Yeah. And there's a door ahead. It's like very small. Probably check it first. It's up to you. it would probably be the stairs down. To the right is there's no door at all. Instead, what's supposed to be like a nice looking glass door that looks it's leaning against the wall, like it hasn't actually been installed yet. There's several as you walk closer into this room. It opens up into a 3-room office with boxes of yet to be unpacked stuff everywhere. And there is the probably like rumbling and kind of sounds of someone in the next room, occasionally swearing to himself, and you hear the sound of like metal on wood slightly, almost like a grinding wood. I don't think he knows you're here yet.
Basically, just call out with a hello and.
And then he says, "Oh." There's a thumping sound. Oh, damn it! Hold on. There's some more noises. After about another, be right there. Another minute goes by, and then Ryland steps out. Sort of a dark-skinned guy, close-shaven beard and hair. He is wearing a suit, but looks very ruffled right now and mildly sweaty. And he steps out of the. Still no door to this and says, "Oh, hi. You're early, I think. Yes, okay. I'm Ryland." He reaches out his hand. "You're Nicole, right?"
Yeah, this is Golden Goose Mysteries. The guy downstairs said.
It is, yes. We're just opening the doors now, so we're just getting unpacked. It's fine. I have a question to the rest of you guys. I think I am wondering if I already knew Jordan, your character, if you might be in the other room third room, setting up like servers and electronic stuff.
I had an idea that maybe I end up knowing you through Marissa's character because you
Okay.
want to live in the same district, right?
Yes.
I like the idea that we're like neighbors. That's how
Neighbors
we
is
know
in
each
like you
other.
live on the same
Okay,
city
so yeah, no
block.
one else
You're
is here
in
right
the
now.
neighborhood. You don't have to be like door-to-door neighbors, but you're definitely in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, you're on the same floor, basically.
we're on
in
the
this
same floor.
high-rise, like 30-story, cramped-ass apartment building.
Yeah.
I've seen you before. Do I know you?
You might not have seen him. You definitely heard him cursing in the middle of the night, probably.
Okay, so I think I'm the only one here. I
And
was like, "Oh, come in," and I bring you back into the room I was coming from. In there looks like a half-finished IKEA desk, except a leg has just recently collapsed, so it's like at an angle. And he says, "It's okay. We're just setting things up, like I said." Here he moves like some cardboard boxes into a space where the chair would be in front of the diagonal desk, and sets it there and says, "Okay, you can sit there. I'll sit here," and he takes another set of boxes and sets.
So I have a question. Just to get some insight into Ryland. Sorry. Are the boxes labeled?
Yes, I think he's not
How
disorganized.
well?
Well enough that I don't think he would sit on anything that shouldn't be sat on.
Okay.
I think
just wondering if it was like, just books, or if it was, books for this specific area, it's just so you could.
Okay.
How much of a planner is he, basically?
He is a stronger planner than me, I'd say. I think he is a pretty good planner. It's not his hobby, but he's very good at it when he puts his mind to it, which he would have for this. He directs you to sit down. He says, "Do you need anything to drink? We have water from the tap." Gestures to like a tiny, gross-looking bathroom.
I'm good, thanks. No.
Okay. Like I said, we're just getting started. Come back in in a day or two, but I wanted to get things started as quickly as possible. I was expecting to have some people hack, and they didn't come through. So it's just me here. He gives you like a smile that is genuine, but he definitely looks overworked, busy. Oh, right. And he reaches down. He has a briefcase. He gets it, pulls out your resume. Oh, he would have it. He would probably have it digitally. So he would
Be on your
actually
phone.
yeah. He'd pull it up on his phone. Like, okay. Nicole, Dupressi. He would name another detective agency, the wonderful Private Eye that worked at.
I've got a name for it. Leading investigations.
Okay. Bleeding investigations. Yes. What was it like working there? It says that you worked there for a few years.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess like the resume says, I'm still there for now, but this interview, it's not a breach of contract or anything. It's just I work as kind of a secretary, right? So the detectives bringing that information and they tell us to look up stuff, and basically it's just managing and making sure it's the right person gets the right information that they need for the case. But that wasn't what I actually wanted to do, right? So when they hired me on, they're like, "Sure, you can move up the ranks, no problem. Just work hard at your job and you'll be promoted detective in no time." And so I did, but they kept bringing in these new hires instead. And it was frustrating because I was doing a good job. And I was even doing a bit more than I was supposed to. I mean, like, I'd read up on the case that they were looking into, and when they asked for the data, I'd like highlight the bits that made the most sense for them to look into and make notes and stuff like that. And then, but whenever it turned out that I was totally right and they got the solves, they never mentioned me. They just made out like I didn't do anything. And sometimes some of them they wouldn't even check. They just think I did things for no reason and ignore it. So sometimes, I mean, I'd go out and I'd look for myself and I'd solve some of their cases. I'd solve them myself, like the ones they were stuck on. And then the head office would call me in and be like, "Don't do that. It's not your job. You aren't licensed." And I'd be like, "Yeah, then why don't you give me a license?" And they'd all be like, "There's a procedure. Just keep doing what we hired you for and things will work out." But I'm starting to think that they're just, it's never going to happen, you know? That's why I'm here. I'm a good detective. I know it. But if they're never going to recognize that, well, then I guess I need to look elsewhere.
I
And she
hear it.
kind of ends that little speech just
Yeah.
kind of like defiantly and just like
Yeah.
challenging.
As a
Riley.
Californian, I know way too many of these people.
I think Rylan like looks impressed. He kept up the whole time. I think now, while you were talking, he finally saw your attire and like noticed it. But I don't think I don't think he took him more than
How did
a
it
half
take that
second of
long? There
shock.
was a lot of
Yeah.
talking
He was
to not notice me on.
Well, when she started talking, he noticed. But before, he was like, "Oh, someone's here, busy, 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 getting ready to host." Kind of them. Okay, let's sit down and chat. Oh, that's what they look like. Okay, is him. Um, and he says, "Okay, no, I see. There's a reason I started Golden Goose is I wanted to help people and do good work, recognize good work. I think that you could be a good fit here, depending on how things go. Why don't you tell me about one of those cases you said you solved? I want to know the deets."
Oh, good. Um,
Improv, quick, go.
pardon?
It's an
Improv, yes,
improv,
and.
quick.
Dread it. There goes my script.
That writer's fired. He didn't get the sheets for today.
Oh God.
And she kind of sits and thinks for a little bit of time, and she's like, "Well, there was this one, and it's kind of the standard the standard, like it was a cheating husband, and she came in and she wanted to know all this information and where he was going and whatnot. And the detective who was on it, just he didn't believe that there was he believed her, or rather he believed her way too much, because it's like it was pretty clear that there wasn't actually anything wrong. Like I was going through all the stuff and he was doing exactly what she said he was doing. He just she just wanted an excuse or something. So I basically, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, he's literally just said, that's all he says, like active listening.
So, I might have bugged him, and I mean, it was the easiest way to get the data. And well, I know this place where you can get these just adorable little bugs, and they're a little bigger than normal. They're kind of like a ball bearing, but the person like paints them and puts little details on, so you've got like an ant. Anyhow, I put one of them into his pocket, and he wasn't able to find it for a bit of time. So like, I got the data on where he was going for about 3 days straight, and I was and this one's actually also really nice. He's one of the ones that had little microphone things, and so I could hear it too. And like, none of what he was doing was suspicious. It was all totally normal. So I got the data together and I presented it to the detective, and he's like, "No, there has to be something. Everything that I've been finding says you just haven't looked long enough." And it was just kind of swept under the rug. And by the end, I mean, there really wasn't anything. I think she actually got put away in the end for something. Like,
Wow.
really, I honestly think she just wanted a divorce.
Just a reason to do it. No, yeah, might get people like that here, but that's why I'm hiring a detective, not a intern or a secretary, right? Why don't you tell me about these like microphone bead thingies? What sort of tools do you use? That you said it wasn't from bleeding investigations. That was something you got.
Oh yeah, no way. They're not going to give their tech away to me. But I know places. There's a lot of fun little goodies. Like, as I said, there were those little microphone bugs, and that's just down a shop at lists a street somewhere or another. And there are just so many awesome things out there. Like, for instance, I've got this, and she kind of digs into her purse and pulls out what looks like a tube of like bright neon blue lipstick. And she's like,
Like the color.
well, that's the thing. It's not just lipstick. Like, this stuff, if you put it on, it actually is transferring to like the AR ether or whatnot. And like, whatever that a person is saying, another person can hear them. So it's like a microphone and a walkie-talkie, and it's so cool.
That is cool. Ryland does look seriously impressed. He says, "All right. Are there any questions that you have for me?"
Well, I guess I do have one. I mean, are is this place ready to go yet? I mean,
It was supposed to be, but we're just getting set up. And in like a week or two, by the time you've put in your 2 weeks and gotten over here, it'll be completely different. I already have. Look. And he goes to find. I think that he unpacks the box he was sitting on and pulls out this actually nice looking wooden sign that says Golden Goose Detective Agency. I don't think it has a logo yet, but it is like a engraved sign. He says this is going to go on that elevator, which is also going to get decorated. There are plans. It's okay. Don't worry about this. This is just the renovations.
guess I'm getting, or guess we're just getting in on the ground floor then, hey?
That's the best time to get in. So I saw the gadgets, heard your story. I think you have potential. Miss Dupressi, can I call you Nicole? Is that okay?
Sure.
It's okay. It's okay. Um, I think that our next case, we can work together. It's not a shadowing thing. You don't shadow me and say nothing. I want to work with you and see what that is as trial. If you can send me your information for background checks, standard stuff, I can get over. That's all good. I will contact you as soon as we get our first case. How's that sound? Opens his hand for another
That
handshake.
sounds great. So, pardon?
He reaches another handshake towards you off.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can totally make that work, and I can get you the background check, and So I guess if I haven't heard from you, I'll follow up and in half a week or so. But we're gonna be doing a case together, right? Like,
Yes. We're going to be doing a case together, and we're going to see how it goes. And I can't make promises, but if things go as well as they did this interview, then you'll be our first real detective.
that sounds just amazing. Thank you, Ryland or Mr. Hunt or
Ryland's fine.
thanks. And she'll, shake your hand, and I guess.
Okay. Well, we'll like close up on the handshake, and we'll cut over to the city streets. It's around evening at this point, and we see a car zipping through traffic. Would the driver of that car like to describe
I think
what we're seeing?
It's a very yellow car, very big pizza marquee on top of it. Boxy pizza car driving through the streets. Pizza cars look exactly the same as they always have, and I'm assuming always will. Poorly branded. They have the word pizza somewhere on the vehicle, a gross color, and a disgruntled driver. So,
And anybody watching with their AR filter on would see like a big spinning pizza slice above the car.
It's horrifying. It is a hazard to traffic if your AR is on.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure they paid the city government for it to clip in front of some road signs instead of behind like it's supposed to.
So it's not entrapment if the pizza driver makes you break the law. So yeah, do we hear like music coming out of the car at all?
Yeah, it's Dave Matthews Band.
Oh, okay. We're here now.
Yeah, it's always been here.
All right, so yeah, we hear ants marching, blaring out the windows.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Dave Matthews Band is not popular.
and the camera sort of pans down so we can see the driver who is currently like splitting their attention between paying attention to the road, some controls on the side, and a view screen.
The view screen's displaying in order, and the driver was being there complaining about why they always have to order breadsticks. Breadsticks don't get made in the trunk. They're trying to make the breadsticks while on the highway, trying to not get the exit, not miss the exit. Because in this cyberpunk nightmare future, pizza's not made in the pizza shop. It's made in the delivery vehicle to make the delivery driving experience all that more hellish.
So
Just imagine the temperature in there.
Oh, the windows are down. It's too hot. That's why everyone can hear Dave Matthews Band.
So you look over at the view screen, you see the order. It's coming up as the Old Norseman. It's just a name that you've put in the system for this regular customer that you always
old
get.
guy. He's an old guy with a beard who I have not heard him say an entire word. It's like half choppy words.
So it's a delivery that you make probably every couple of days. Guy's pretty much a shut in. He just spends his time participating in what's called Sync Sense. It's basically you put this headgear on, and it's sort of like the holodeck from Star Trek. You participate in the adventure, but inside a virtual environment in your mind.
Group brain,
yeah. So I don't know how you feel about this particular person, but that is your next delivery.
Yeah, I'm assuming if you're like, how hooked on Sync Sense is this?
I mean, like,
is this like
the guy doesn't bathe regularly? Yeah,
okay,
his life
this is a shithole apartment that the only reason he lives there is power is included in
going
rent.
to be audio.
Mm-hmm.
fixed power rate. That's the whole reason why anyone lives at this apartment complex, and they all do this thing.
Pretty much.
Like, they don't have to pay for power or Wi-Fi. Sick. Just don't ever turn it off. So yeah, it's pretty automated, like a rundown apartment complex. Like, it used to be one of those hotels that you could pay by the week at, but now it's just a full-blown apartment complex. They've just embraced it. There's not even like a doorman. There's a vending machine for room keys, ostensibly. So Fian's trying to fuck with it for like the delivery driver access, but those are always awful. So there's probably some problem where they have to ring the old guy who doesn't like to unplug his headset.
Yeah. So when Fian steps out of the car and stands up, what do we see? Like what is Fian? How do they portray?
He's wearing like the pizza driver jacket that's kind of like the windbreaker with the logo on it, and probably a hemp woven undershirt under the pizza jacket. You know, the gross gray undershirt. We all know what the shirt looks like. It's bad. One of those, and then poofy pants.
Are they corduroy patchwork?
No, they're just like the patterned, not even like heavily patterned, like the fisherman style, like light cloth, like poofier pants. It does not pair well with the already poofy plastic windbreaker that he has thrown on over the undershirt. Rather gangly, not like gangly, but athletic built person, not fitting a poofy windbreaker or poofy pants. It just looks like they're drowning in all of the poof at this point. It would be fine if they took off the windbreaker, but they haven't. It's on, and then there's the mop of hair and a similar gawky baseball cap that says the pizza company on it again. And he has the pizza up away. He's just pounding away at buttons trying to get the old Norse guy to respond.
Eventually your finger slips and you hit a different button and someone just automatically buzzes you in so you can get into the complex.
Yeah. So I get into the complex and it immediately looks, I'm assuming it's like a courtyard style where there's like all outdoor doors that face in, so they don't even need to pay for sweeping in hallways to run the apartment complex.
Yeah, but it's about 10 stories of that. So it's like this inner courtyard with like stairs that go up on the west and east sides. Yeah.
Even though Fiat has been here at least once a week, they are standing in the middle of the courtyard with the pizza in one hand and their phone in the other hand, like looking up, trying to figure out which door and what floor he's supposed to go to. But they're just standing there lost and are trying to look around for help. But there's just no one outside in this. There's no one hanging out. Everyone's not home or shut in with like neon lights flashing from their windows.
Yeah, so eventually you do make it up to the door, the correct door, and you stand there pounding on it for a while, and then you hear some shuffling around and a muffled voice telling you to be right there. And the door opens, and the first thing that hits you is the smell.
Yeah, it smells like
the garbage hasn't been taken out in weeks.
No. Just a pot of like soup in it in the sink, like it went from being burned on the stove to straight in the sink, and there's been no in between or attention paid since that motion.
Yep. And you notice like there's like one spot on the couch that's perfectly human sized for this guy to sit in, and then there's just detritus on either side.
A different color.
And he looks at you and he's like, hand me the pizzas. Quick, come on. I gotta get back. I'm just about to jump out the airlock.
And Fian's looking around, he's like, okay, and then walks on the door and closes inside the room with the guy. He's like, where do you want it?
He's like, just set it on the floor over there. Come on. I gotta save this robot. I'm about to jump out the airlock. It's at a pivotal point. And you notice that there's a like a box set DVD collection that starts without number on it.
Yeah, I sit down and like I put the pizza. Like I was like, okay, that's fine.
He's like,
Type of
just
pos-
set it over there.
Yeah.
I'll get it over to myself using my
Yeah.
my mind. Don't worry about
Yeah,
it. Just set it down.
Dan puts the pizza on the place that's indicated and then sits on the not his seat on the couch to
Yeah,
watch
he
what's going on.
Right.
he slaps his thumb down on the pad to like confirm his credit with you. It takes achingly long for that light to turn green because of all the like grease and nasty
That's
buildup on his thumb.
gross.
He has to try a couple of times. Um, but finally, blessedly, yeah, his credit is confirmed. You're paid. He like waves you out the door as he begins affixing this like
Oh.
spider-looking contraption onto his
And
head.
I see how it is, old man, and then I leave his apartment, I guess.
I very much enjoyed that.
And I spend the next 5 minutes like trying to figure out how to leave the like floor to get down to like the courtyard again. It's a lot of like circling the same floor a couple of times trying to figure out what stair I'm supposed to take. It takes too long that I then get down. And I just like sit in the courtyard staring at my phone, like playing some like dumb little app game, waiting for the next pizza delivery to tick on my phone. Like, why drive? They got a
Yeah,
bench.
the next delivery comes through after about 2 or 3 levels of Candy Crush or whatever you got going on over there.
Yeah, something like that. Some in the script, like garbage little phone game. It's like, oh, I guess I'm doing this. They get up and it's like, where's my hat? And they walk away. The hat's, still on the old man's couch.
Yeah. It's a new customer. The address is in Shinloon. Not far.
Yes. Yeah, so you go find their pizza mobile. It's not locked. That would be silly. And then they sit in the, if it's stolen, liability insurance covers the car. The car is never locked. You can lose keys if the car is locked.
It's almost like you're.
All right, yeah.
Feels like you're half
think
hoping
then,
to
yeah.
get out of the job.
Yeah, you come out and there's like a 6-year-old kid sitting in your driver's seat, like pretending to drive the car.
I open the door and I'm like, get over, kid. Going to Shinloon.
Kid hops in the passenger seat.
we head on down to Shinloon.
This car feels like a cursed item already. It's like you can't wait to get rid of it. Please, someone take it off my hands.
Does the pizza company also have kidnapping insurance?
I don't know, but it's one of my pizza car tags is company insurance. I'm just gonna see how far I can push it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so you and this kid that you didn't even introduce yourself to just take off down the road towards
As
Shinloon.
we're driving, I turned down the radio a bit after we get out of the like neighborhood road that we're on. And like, do you like Dave Matthews Band? I asked the 6-year-old.
It's like, who the fuck is that?
Speaks to the soul, and I crank it.
Kid just like puts his hands over his ears, like, this is awful.
Fine, and I turn it as like, what do you want to put on? And I gesture to the radio as we are going too fast down city streets into Shinloon.
The kid like reaches in his pocket and pulls out a data stick and puts it into your radio. It starts playing sort of a mix between Skrillex and K-pop. Like
sounds bad. I don't like this.
That sounds accurate.
Yeah, but Fiat is nicer than me, so they put up with it for a bit until we get to the pizza place. But this kid will not be offered a ride back.
All right. Well, I think your first case might involve a kidnap victim from an apartment complex
Oh
in
boy.
the blue collar district.
Yeah.
He got into a pizza. I can just see like Robert Stack doing the unsolved mysteries. Like, little Tommy got into the car, and no one has seen him since. If you or anyone you know has any information on this blurry photo of a pizza car driver,
Lost in the back alleys of Shinloon. That's a great place
Yeah.
to be.
This little kid then goes to help Mr. Indiana Jones. He becomes short round.
Yeah.
But yeah, eventually, yeah, you do come to now getting to the residential portions of Shinloon. Shinloon's basically a very large district, built in blocks. On the outside of the blocks are all kinds of small shops, ranging from electronics to crap tourist goods to groceries. You know, any kind of shop you can think of, you can find in Shinloon.
Cool.
But if you take the alleys between these shops into the belly of the block, there's always an enormous 20 to 30 story apartment complex with as many apartments crammed into those small corridors as they can.
Yeah.
The walls are paper thin.
Yeah, I drive through the alleys. It makes sense.
Yeah, so you just drive through the alley. You have to go pretty slowly because you got to weave around, people standing there. There's some street gang, some
Garbage
street thugs
cans.
just like standing around. They sort of hassle you a little bit as you drive past, but they don't really, pose any threat.
We have the pizza company. It's a solution for that. It's a box on the side of the car that is garlic knots, and I push a button, and it's like
Deploy the garlic knots.
It opens, and it's like, please stop disturbing the vehicle. Enjoy these complimentary garlic knots.
The thing is, for people who catch on, they're going to do it more because of that. It's great.
Oh yeah. I want to abuse those garlic knots.
Yeah. I just hit the car.
Yeah,
and
I just
garlic knots.
Just
Bam.
people coming up with crowbars. Give me the knots.
That's probably why the kid was there in the first place. He heard that
Give me the
somehow you could get the garlic knots, but didn't know
Yeah,
how.
I dispensed the garlic knots. And keep going.
Right. If at some point in this series tactical garlic knots are not a thing,
Vampires!
so
We have to fight
disappointed in everyone
vampires!
here.
Oh my god! If there's a vampire storyline, we use the tactical garlic knot.
Oh.
There better be. I'm a damn werewolf. There better be vampires. To fight.
Yeah, and then I think I know whose apartment complex we're going to the back of. Just from out of character knowledge, the one person that lives in Shinloon, that wasn't at the previous scene.
Yeah, so for that person, you
what's the
can like
parking-
describe what the general layout looks like.
What's the parking situation like? Do I have to use my park anywhere lights, or do you have like a spot around your complex?
I think it's literally you block the back alley for however long you need to block
park
it
anywhere
for.
lights it is.
Yeah,
you
park anywhere lights.
You throw in the hazards, you can park anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'd imagine like if the apartments you said paper thin walls, they're super super small, and it's just however many you could cram in there. I imagine the apartment is literally like you have room to stand in there, and
you got the sink oven. You got the sink oven combo, and you got the shower, and you got the shower, and then you got the toilet, and that's all on one wall. And then the other wall, you have some outlet space for your mini fridge and your window unit AC, and then you can put your bed and your desk along the fourth and final wall.
Your desk is also your bed.
It's one of those fold down nonsense things.
The desk is the nightstand to the bed. So it's a combo piece of furniture. You got the nightstand desk combo with like the one set of drawers on it, and then it is attached to the bed frame. There is no headboard or footboard. It's just like a piece of wood with a shitty
And it should always loud because you could hear everything going on everywhere in the building for the most part.
I imagine there's like a couple's arguments, whining pets, and probably something else happening at the same time. Maybe loud TV.
Yeah.
You pass through like no less than 7 different, I'd say, culinary aromas, like from various portions.
The apartment complexes are so small because the apartments are so small. You open the door to your apartment to increase some space. So there's an old guy, a little propane camp stove out in the hallway, like making eggs, just because like I'm not gonna fight through the bathroom kitchen to make my breakfast.
Yeah. So actually, probably it's a lot more communal because you are literally right next to people all the
Yes.
time and hearing all of their gossip.
That's likely, except I would imagine for a certain door.
Oh yeah, we get to the one closed door in the hallway.
Yeah, and there's it. Hold on, let me. You can
What's your
hear
room
it
number?
because
What's your room number? What's your apartment number?
1337.
Okay.
On the 13th floor.
So the only noise coming from this apartment is. Oh wait, you can't hear it. Hold on. It's just typing. It's just constant typing.
It's just the clickety clack of a mechanical
Yeah.
keyboard.
Can I
There's
type
the clickety clack
somewhere?
of
Okay,
a
good.
mechanical
Hold on.
keyboard. Thank you. Mine's not loud enough.
I can do it too. It's not loud at all. I sent a message. Cool.
Oh. Yeah, and there's just like until you knock, that's all that you hear is the clickety clacks.
Yeah, Sophia stands out there for a little bit, just staring at the door, listening for the sound, waiting for the sound to break before knocking. Like he's obviously busy in there. Not gonna interrupt. Just wait a bit. Listen.
Still clickety clacks.
Still clickety clack.
There's a
tentative-
stop, and you hear a curse
tentative
word.
knock. A tentative knock when you stop.
Mm. And then it stopped, and then you hear. Hold on, I have a shortcut for this. One moment.
Do you have like
As,
a Ring doorbell? Did you install a Ring doorbell
Yes.
on your shitty apartment?
Perfect.
And then you hear like shuffling of furniture because that's how you have to move around. You have to move your furniture out of the way.
Basically,
I'm
play
assuming-
apartment Tetris to get to the door.
Yeah.
Well, I'm assuming in your apartment, especially because as an expert hacker, you probably have a work desk with shit you've destroyed, and then you have another work desk with a half-built server on it, and then you have a work desk
Yeah.
with your actual computer.
Oh yeah.
like so the door, is it a normal door? Is it like how shitty are these apartments?
It's your
I
apartment.
mean, yeah, you're the author of your shittiness here.
Ooh, I have an idea. All the doors are different, but his door specifically is like a metal door that looks like I forget what they're called, but like they're the like Japanese style doors. The like white, like the lattice doors.
Oh, like the
What are they
rice paper
called?
doors?
Yeah, like the rice paper doors.
You
but
have a
it's made
rice
of metal.
paper door with aluminum sheeting with like tacked
Yeah.
on
That's
steel.
great.
It's so goofy and dumb. You're the biggest weeaboo in the apartment complex. You got your stupid glowing Ring doorbell next to your fake Japanese paper metal door.
It's not like he chose the door. That's the door that was on the hinges
Yeah.
when he got there.
These doors are pretty much constantly changed out, and they just go with whatever's cheapest because
Yeah.
these doors keep getting kicked in by the police and by gang members. You know.
Yeah, so this door slides to the side and you see a he is a 5'3" to 5'4" man. Very, very short. He's got some like hold on, let me look at the cybernetics thing. So he's got some cybernetics, but he's not like a robot, right? He's got like a voice thing. And around his neck
Oh,
is
so you don't have a microphone for your computer. You just switch your audio output to computer.
yeah, I switch it to computer. And then around his neck are what they kind of look like welder's goggles, but you can see the flashing of the AR like coming from them as they're just sort of like hanging around his neck. He's got like a shitty sweatshirt, and then it's unzipped and open. You see the logo for the local. It's probably like the building esports team or whatever.
Like
It's
a
the Shinlu Samurais.
It's a community esports team.
It's like a community esports
That's
team.
amazing.
The Shinlu
Like a
Samurais.
I like the idea of community esports teams so much.
Every
That's
floor
so
has their own
wholesome.
esports team.
That's so
Every
wholesome. I
floor,
love that.
yeah.
I like the idea of like the neighborhood meetup where they do a League of Legends tournament.
Yeah.
And yeah, he opens the door and he goes, is that the extra double pepperoni with the Shinloon twisty bread.
Hey, Theon, like, acknowledges that you said something and, like, opens the pizza box. It's like, it looks like it.
So when we do see the pizza, it just looks like a cheese pizza because the machinery that makes these pizzas in the back of the car basically just injects the flavor into the cheese-like product that tops this pizza. Now the entire thing is plant-based.
Yeah, there's 4 buckets of goo. There's bread goo, there's tomato goo, there's cheese goo. The cheese goo is attached to a flavor grater or something, and it goos them in levels and then cooks them in levels. It's the whole thing.
Okay, that's horrifyingly amazing. And now it makes me want to try one, but also never try one out. Never eat them
Yes, you
after.
have. Have you ever had Little Caesars?
No, no, I have not.
Listen, I love Little Caesars. It's so good for so cheap.
Yes.
It's Little Caesars.
I see.
Yeah, right.
The taste comes from the $2 price tag. Let's be freaking honest here.
It's true. It is good for $5 pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he just looks at the pizza and looks up and he just sort of gives like a nod of acknowledgement, and then he holds out his, hold on, let me see here, his forearm, and a little like data jack comes out to like confirm the payment here.
Yeah, I hold up my phone. Like, yeah.
I imagine
Yeah,
tap is still.
confirm.
Do you guys do tap in the U.S.?
We can,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but this basically everyone in the city has a electronic account, and you just confirm your credit by putting your thumb on something normally, or jacking in if you're cybernetically inclined.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he
So,
just
yeah,
he
you
jacks in because he doesn't have people fingers.
Yeah. You confirm the payment,
Uh-huh.
and then as you take the pizza, Theon does not let go and uses that to be pulled inside your apartment to check out what you got going on.
Okay. This happens,
I
and
just
you're literally
follow the pizza in when you try to like take
we're
it
like
inside.
we're like literally this close together. It's that small of an apartment.
Yeah, and then, like I'm looking around and it's like, so what do you got going on in here? A lot of wires. Not seeing a TV.
I point to my AR goggles.
You got one like at a shelf somewhere? Like I don't got those.
No, I go to a virtual movie theater.
I mean, okay.
Is this standard for all pizza
I'll-
deliveries?
I'll
I've never
give it
had
a-
pizza delivered here before.
I'll give it a shot, I guess.
Do you like need work done?
I just need a place to chill for a bit. I don't have another delivery. I'll hold up my phone.
So you hang out in a stranger's apartment?
Well, I want to drive. I got to drive all the way back to mine. Otherwise,
Okay. Take a seat there. And it's like the one chair he has that
Yeah.
it's like it almost looks like in kindergarten it's like the timeout chair.
yeah, your second chair. You have your
Yeah.
desk chair, and then you have your second chair, and that's the
Mhm.
full list.
Yeah, so he just like he sits down to his like work desk and then just starts fiddling with like he's probably got like a bunch of phones out and he's
Yeah.
just like hacking into them.
So after a bit, Sam starts looking around. It's like, so what are you working on?
Work.
I mean, I got that. What are you working on?
Jordan is the one who's messing up the word here, not him. What's like a synonym for liberate?
Jailbreak? If are you
No.
jailbreaking a phone?
He would call it jailbreaking, but he wouldn't use the term jailbreaking. He would make it sound more like
Unlocking?
less illegal.
I'm removing corporate.
Unshackling.
I'm
Thank you.
unshackling these devices. I'm removing corporate stopgap measures, like corporate speed
Cleaning
measures or
as
something
well- as
dumb. You'd
well.
have.
I'm unshackling these devices from their overseers.
That lucrative?
Pays for this.
So no.
Not really, no. It's enough to keep the lights on and me in this building and not out on the street.
I look around for a light that has been turned on that's not from a screen.
There's like a there's like a little like light in the ceiling that is like, it's like a dimmer light, but it's always the dimmest. Is pizza delivering lucrative?
No, it's kind of a scam.
I figured so.
Yeah.
At least the product is the
Yes.
product.
Yeah, pretty
Just
much.
like slowly eating the pizza.
There's no commentary on this quality of product. There's no defending it. It's like when you go to Little Caesars and the person looks you in the eye and then tells you enjoy like a liar.
Yeah.
This is the
It's-
best commercial for Little Caesars that ever existed.
Speaking
guess
of
those ad dollars are
sponsorships.
gone.
I just wanted my neighbors to stop giving me food because it's always too rich. I just need something processed and quick because I can't deal with people.
At this point, Fion has found your fridge.
Okay,
you
there is
look at it.
like lots of food in there that is like homemade, that is just like has a couple bites eaten out of it. There's probably
Yeah.
like, I'd imagine
I-
there's like a spaghetti bowl,
I
and then
start
there's like
start-
sushi.
I start sniffing. Like I'm going through the boxes, sniffing to see which one is the least spoiled.
Take whatever you want. They're all from today.
Oh,
Wow.
I take like
People are
three.
cooking in there all the time.
I take like three. Like I just you sit back down on your chair and start hanging out.
Ooh, Kung Pao noodles.
Just hang out till you get a call. Now we become
Well,
friends.
maybe not even to maybe not when I get a call. I'm getting a meal out of this hangout. Why would I leave and just like make
Yeah.
make
You save more
$5
money
a
on
day?
eating this food than you would make from a delivery.
Yeah, like it would cost me more to buy dinner than I make off of one delivery, so it's worth to hang out to eat dinner.
And you have more reasons to come back.
Yeah. We probably make a deal where it's like, listen, if you don't want this food, you order a pizza at this time. I'll be here to eat food, and we'll just hang out. Like,
Yeah.
you can
No,
eat on the clock.
No, Fiona's made no time-related plans with you. They are more just like, yeah, it's whenever you get more food, you can just shoot me a message and I can dip on down.
Does the app let you set like preferred delivery drivers, or is it way too anonymous?
Oh, it's way too anonymous for that.
Okay.
Fiona just like gives you their phone number. Just like,
Okay.
Okay.
just let me know if
Bypass
you ever
the
want to
app.
hang out. I don't leave after this. The phone number's in the middle.
Yeah.
If we have another scene that makes sense, this is an easy leave-off point.
Yeah, you hang out for way too long.
Yeah,
and-
they're gonna hang out for too long. I don't know what to tell you.
yeah, eventually he'll go like, don't you have any other deliveries?
I turned it off on the app.
Yeah, you would look at your phone and the camera sees like the 7 angry texts from your supervisor that where are you? You have deliveries, you know.
Maybe you should go do those.
You got to-go box.
Yeah, it came with a to-go box.
I don't want to take your Tupperware.
It's fine. I'm giving Tupperware every day.
Okay, if you insist.
Please.
I'll bring the spoon back and I walk out.
You don't need to bring
But he needs an excuse. Excuse to come back.
I think the only reason he didn't like blow up during the conversation is because it was just so weird. It was too weird for him to get mad about it.
Yeah. Well, Fionn in that scene felt like someone to pity as well,
Mm-hmm.
which is great.
But that's. I want to say Fionn is probably very representative of like the most common demographic in this city. Just very disillusioned, doing what they have to get by, and taking advantage of any opportunity that comes along that doesn't cause them to have to pay for something.
I'm pretty sure I have disillusioned, like lost, pizza driver.
Yeah,
like all of these are things on my sheet.
There is probably like a genuine risk to the safety of Jordan, your character, Tari, if word got out to like the street gangs that there was a fridge of free food.
Yeah. Well, I think for the most part, if those street gangs don't live in an apartment, if they do, they'll also get free food.
That's true. If they do,
everyone's
they'll be
just
fine.
cooking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sort of
I
a
don't
big
think
potluck every day.
food scarcity is really the major problem. Like
That's
money
true.
scarcity is like, but there's so many ways to shittily feed people and get every dime
Yeah,
you can out
that's
of them.
true.
So if you have a
Yeah.
dive, you can still get something that's god awful
That's
and
true.
has
Ooh.
ads that are injected into eating the hot dog or whatever.
It's just more
But
people might come by like, hey, free food?
yeah, it's
I-
more profitable to sell someone, like at this point, because as far as like where technology is, it feels like it's more profitable to sell someone something for everything they have than to not sell them anything at all.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I think as soon as you leave, he puts those phones away and then starts working on like a big server thing that is like a more nefarious project that he's working on.
You had a
Perfect.
decoy illegal fraud?
I had a
Yeah.
I had a decoy illegal fraud
This-
thing
that kind of
for my
like
bigger illegal fraud thing.
the thing that's too small for the cops to actually come after you for, but the thing they'll
You're
see
like,
and be
yeah.
like, yeah, okay, it's fine, whatever.
It's
We're good.
like jailbreaking phones. They're like, come on, man, don't do that. Like they could write them up, write them a ticket, but it's
I'll
not
make
worth
him-
the paperwork to do it.
Yeah. Also, jailbreaking phones is only, I guess it's illegal because corporations have more control
Yeah, it
in
would be
this
the
world.
Yeah.
corporation. Yeah.
But really all that's probably going to net is them confiscating any device they found that has been jailbroken, unless they like catch you red-handed doing it. Like that's what
Oh
they
no,
do
no,
with,
no.
like,
That's like you're breaking into company OSs and deleting them. That's
Yeah.
you need to
That's
read your
destruction of
EULA.
property.
They'll swat you for that one.
The Right to Repair Act has not gone through. It is
No,
illegal.
no. In fact, there is legislation that says the opposite.
Yes.
I'm still
If you
bad
so
at-
far as touch those screws on your phone, they're
Okay,
coming
but-
after you.
But in real life, John Deere does this.
Yeah, they do.
I think the next scene, if you guys are good with it, I'm interested in is seeing how Nicole, Tari connect because of the whole neighbors thing.
I had an idea. If you wanted me to shoot that by you, Marissa,
Shoot away.
maybe for your first job that you're doing with Ryland, you need a hacker, and like you see constantly like I'm ordering like computer stuff or people are coming to me with their phones, so you're like, he must be a hacker.
I have the worst idea. What if what if your apartment numbers are so similar, delivery people always come to your door trying to deliver
No,
stuff
please,
to
that
their
happen. That's a real life thing I'm dealing with right now.
phone? Too close to home. Okay.
It's too real because my house is like on the corner of this one street and it's like a turning street, but for some reason the street sign is like on, like, if this is the corner I live on, it's over here and -2 this street. The other person's house where the sign is right in front of is 2. So a lot of the time if we like order food or order something on Amazon, it goes to them and they have to either bring it to us or we have to like knock on their door like, hey, this is for us. We want to make sure we're not like
Oh yeah, I
Porch
definitely,
pirating you.
Okay.
I definitely had to do the middle of the night, run across my neighborhood and grab like my food off of the other apartment 5's like door or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
I got a picture of it in front of the door, and I go run and find what door they put it in front of.
Ooh.
Well,
Okay.
We
for
could do
Christmas
that,
this
not
year,
do that.
everybody gets
What?
numbered floor mats in front of their door. So when you get that picture, you know.
Jordan,
I'm
it's up to you.
definitely-
I'm fine with doing that if that's how you want to do it.
Sure.
It was my idea,
yes.
so it's not. But I'm not involved in the scene, so it's.
however you think you would get in contact with him, because for the most part he stays inside.
All right, yeah. So what is then the job that we're actually doing here?
This is would probably just be like, yeah, this would be a test case thing. I think for Ryland, the first job would be something
The missing
very
kid.
small. I actually think, yeah, let's go with the missing kid. That's perfect.
Yeah, you've been hired to track down Timmy, who disappeared from an apartment complex in the residential center.
Yep.
Oh, and maybe you need to
And
get
they were
access
left-
to
Left his
that
phone in the car.
footage.
I think, yeah, there's
Or they were
footage that we
last
can't get
seen in
access
your
to.
apartment complex. As,
Yeah.
as that's where I let them out.
Yeah, his phone was hanging around somewhere. Someone found the phone, but not the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have to like hack into it to get into like the mic's always on, so I have to get that secret file that's not like visible to the person.
So
Nice.
I think,
All right. So I
yeah,
guess
you
it's a
guys
couple
take it
days
away.
later, and Nicole gets home, and you've got the same kind of sized apartment as oh wow, I always forget your real name, Atari. But this one is like actually very neat, very organized. Like if you opened a drawer, you would see it was a mess, but you have no trouble getting around the apartment, at least
Mhm.
itself. It's not a lot in there. She's like wandering in with a bit of takeout food. That is basically how she eats. And she looks down at there's a package in front of her doorstep again. It's like, that's gonna be a problem, so it's gonna be for this guy. And pick up the package, put the food down on the counter, and head down the
Yeah,
hallway.
head
because
down a
I
story
think
or
which-
something. Like the
Yeah,
number's right, but the floor is wrong.
Yeah. For some reason, the first floor is called floor 0, and so they'll assume that the
Oh my,
above
it's one of
is-
those.
God. No, the first floor is the basement level apartments. The apartments at level
Oh, yeah.
one to whatever, but the first one's a sub level and isn't indicated as sub level, so the ground floor is level 2.
And the sub level has its own staircase that's not connected to any of the other ones.
Yeah, not
course.
at all. So it don't make any sense.
As soon as
Yeah.
I think probably like when first built, it wasn't intended to be apartments, that it got converted later.
Oh yeah, it was the storage area for the apartments originally.
Yeah.
I am very okay with being a basement dwelling gremlin.
Well, not
so
that
I'm
yours would
good.
be a basement, but it just throws the numbers way off.
Yeah,
Because you have to be able to see the moon.
I don't have to.
I'm looking at your backdrop.
This is a neon moon, sir.
Yeah. You just have an AR moon whenever you need it.
An AR moon whenever I need to.
Oh, you paid
I
$50
boot up.
for that. You paid $50 for that.
I boot up a like VR moon to like look at to get like into the zone. Yeah. So again, furious
Oh, yeah.
typing and cursing.
And you said you had a doorbell, so I'll ring that doorbell. And
Mhm. Yeah,
Probably-
the little ring light goes red to show like I am looking at you, like Hal from 2001, and you just hear what can I do for you?
got your package again. Or rats, wrong voice. I've got your package again.
Why do they never learn?
Well, I
And-
think it probably has something to do with the way the
The door
floors
just
are-
slides open. like he's just sitting at his computer typing, and he goes, could you put it over there? And he'll like point to like the one free spot open in the room that is like reserved. Wait, hold on. That is reserved for like food or packages. You can't eat and get a package at the same time.
So that you put it on top of a pizza box, an empty pizza box.
Yeah, I put it on top of the pizza box.
So, I guess you do a lot of computer stuff, don't you?
Yes, that is how I pay for my rent and what little food I can afford.
Because we might have a job or something like that. Like, I mean, I guess I don't really have the ability to be making the hiring decisions here, but we've got this case going on, and like I know we have this phone, but I don't know how to get into it, and she kind of looks down to see the phone strewn about the table. Do you know how you could get into that thing? Could you do that?
I could, but it would depend on how much.
Oh, well, and she kind of like takes some mental figurings of her own bank account because she's not part of this agency yet, but she's going to get this case solved.
Mhm.
And so she's like, "How about $50? I don't know what's the going rate for this sort of thing."
In actuality, he get whenever someone makes him an offer, he always just says higher to like see how they negotiate. He doesn't have a going rate. It's whatever they offer and then more.
Plus
He can
like
get it.
$5 an hour.
Whatever you
Yeah.
have plus 10%.
Yeah.
So if you said 50, right?
Yeah.
He would go 70.
Oh, no, 60. How's 60?
That'll do.
You know, she kind of pulls out the phone, I guess, from her pocket, which I guess she had,
Yeah, you
and
cash out.
is trying to figure out like, okay, where can I pay you?
I could. He holds out his own phone, and he says, I could send you a push through this. What do you need off the phone? Everything? Specific things?
Well, it's the phone of this kid, and he was supposed to be around here, but I haven't. Maybe anything that might tell him where he might have gone?
So you want location data, microphone access, possibly camera access.
Yes, those would be great.
Okay, give me a second. He'll take the phone from you, jack into it, and then like you'll see on the phone like a matrix scroll basically, and then you'll get a text message to your phone of all the data, and he goes,
Well,
I'll send you the payment.
let's engage the
Correct.
mechanics on that one.
Our
So-
first roll of the
Yay.
game.
You're going to
Ooh.
investigate.
Awesome. Okay. So how do?
How do? All right.
Yes.
So, using your character sheet, you're going to count up the applicable tags that you have for
Mhm.
investigating this phone. That will be the power of the roll. You roll 2d6, add the power, get your result.
Okay. I believe I have my forearm data jack I am using, and I am using my computer hacker training of computers hacking and quick and effective. So that's 4.
Okay. Now, just so we're aware, it won't matter because this is just a quick scene, but the sort of burning wheel rules sort of apply here, where if you make a test using the tag, you can't make a similar test using the same tag until the situation changes.
Mhm.
Just so
Okay.
moving forward, we're aware that you can stack as many on as you want, but there's that limiter of you can't do it again.
Okay, so
Okay.
it's sometimes worth it to spread out your tags and do not use them. Okay.
A couple different approaches.
Okay. And then
That bumps that
I just
6 you
click-
rolled up to a 10 with the plus
That was
4.
me. I hit the button by
Oh.
accident.
Oh, that's
I was
me.
trying to figure out how this. I was following along with the like investigation button system.
and then
I
I just
hit the-
click the investigate button.
After you
After I
check
added
all,
it in
click
my pluses.
investigate. Once you've got your power in, you just click investigate.
you
and
have to
that'll-
check the boxes. That's the easiest way to do
Yep.
it.
So you rolled an 8.
Is that good? Is that bad?
Yeah. So basically, on a 7 to 9, because this is powered by the apocalypse, so it goes by those banded
Mhm.
results. So on a hit, you get clues equal to your power, to the power of your roll. Spend your clues 1-to-1 to ask the MC questions about the subject of your investigation, or ask another player a relevant question about their character if you're using it PvP wise. They must give you either a straight answer or a solid lead. On a 7 to 9, they can also choose one. So basically, I can decide that your investigation exposes you to a danger. The clues you get are fuzzy, incomplete, or part true, part false. Or whoever or whatever you're asking the questions can ask you one as well, which really doesn't apply here for a phone.
Yeah.
But So basically, you get 4 clues from the phone. So for that,
Mhm.
so how we're going to track this is,
This handy dandy tag up top.
yep. So the method for this was hacking, and the source is the phone.
Found phone.
Okay.
And what the method and the source do here is they sort of bound what questions you can ask.
Mhm.
So you can only spend those clues asking questions related to hacking the phone. So it's not going to tell you, like, what Timmy ate for breakfast unless he
Right.
logged it on Facebook or something.
Yeah, unless he tweeted about it.
So
Breakfast
Wikipedia
book.
was powerful with this role.
I guess that. Do I know the drawback you choose?
Yeah, I will let you know that that there is some corruption to the data. The phone was found in a puddle, and the data is sort of corrupted. So you're going to get some fuzzy or incomplete information here.
Okay. I guess the first thing, could I access the GPS data to figure out like where exactly what was the pathing? Is that a thing that I can learn?
Yes. So where has this phone been? Basically, is what
Yeah.
you're asking. So yeah, the phone on the night in question, because they know when the kid disappeared, the phone made it as far as. Interestingly, it came from Grant Street, which is sort of about 5 or so miles away as the crow flies from here. Um, Skirted it around a bunch of side streets, but from what you can tell, it seems to be the most direct route to your apartment building.
30 minutes or less.
And then, based on the time data, they must have been in a vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that point on, it wanders around a bit in the city, heading toward the city center. And the phone
Okay.
was found,
In a puddle.
Yeah.
Okay. So like there's a point in time where the phone stops moving.
Mhm.
Okay. Based off of that, can I get microphone data from probably up to like an hour before the phone was dropped?
Yeah. Yeah, you recognize the voice on the microphone data. Definitely.
Asking about
There's
if
a
they
revving
like
engine in the background and a very and there's a voice that reminds you of a very interesting encounter you had a couple nights before.
Mm.
and Dave Matthews.
Yeah, and Dave
Okay.
Matthews. There are lots
Yeah,
of Dave
And
Matthews. And then this weird Skrillex K-pop, you hear that whole conversation.
yeah. um I guess can I also pose questions with like the group, right? Like could we ask a question together? Because I
It
don't know
it
exactly.
Yeah, it's basically your hold to spend. Yeah, you can ask for input from other people on how to
Mhm.
spend it.
You can ask another character question, or you can also just table talk ask us a question
Yeah.
to try to figure out what like specific things.
I think it's interesting to know the microphone camera data just before the phone was dropped.
Me too.
Yeah, I want that. Like, can I take
That's the one
the
thing none of us know.
microphone data that I have and specifically focus on like the point in time before it was dropped? Like,
Mhm.
does it sound like a mugging happened? Does it sound like the kid was running from something?
And this is the second clue being spent, right?
This will
Well,
be
the
third.
third.
Okay.
So like I have all the data and then I zero in on this time for the
Yep.
third one.
Yeah, so analyzing the audio further toward the end, it does seem that it sounds like the phone was in the kid's pocket, and suddenly there's a lot of how best to describe it. Everybody's gotten the butt dial before from someone when they've been walking around. You know that like
Mhm.
clothing
Muffled,
sound that
yeah.
it makes.
Yeah.
You know, there's that, and then that picks up a lot, and then you hear some shots ringing out not far away.
Okay. I guess the final. I guess a final question would it be? Can I cross reference with the news on shootings in the GPS area where the phone was dropped with like trying to figure out what the shooting was about?
That's
Uh,
not
the-
public data. That probably wouldn't be.
Well,
You
it
could
would
like
be a
cross-reference.
news.
You could
Would be
cross-reference a
news.
news site.
It could
but-
also be, if it's really nearby, something to investigate, asking around.
Is holding a clue a thing for later?
I think it is.
yeah. You don't have to spend these right away. That's
Oh,
why we
okay.
have them on cards right there.
Okay.
But it's
So
only
like
from
yeah, you
hacking
can
the
always
phone.
re-reference.
So we're at 1.
Yeah.
Right?
Right,
Okay.
we have one clue left.
Yeah. And then I guess yeah, like I send over that data and I go find this thing in a puddle. It's everything sort of corrupted. I got all I could out of it.
Yeah, it was in a puddle near the main city. It was, as I said, it was a phone from this kid who went missing, and thanks for the data. That was fast.
Mhm.
Mind if I ever come back here again with anything like this?
If you pay as well as you did this time, sure.
Well, we'll see how that goes. But thanks for the stuff, I guess.
No problem. And I'd probably check out insert coordinates here. The audio sounded like there was a shooting that happened and the kid was running.
Yeah, that's terrifying, and that is definitely the point when I'm bringing this case back to Ryland.
I think I got a lead off of some other stuff too. I'll see if I can send them your way.
So we can
Thanks.
spend that clue as well if we need to then?
Yeah, I'd assume they can ask if it's my clue that I got, and they can ask a question based on that stuff too, right?
If
Yeah,
you're good
yeah.
with it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a resource that you can do with as you will. Like you have access to that research now, so you can ask a question and pass it along.
Yeah.
I guess for spending someone else's clues, you'd probably have to have their permission, but
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the easiest way to do
Yeah.
it. Just like
Yep.
table permission to use someone else's clue, and you have to have narrative justification for how you have access to that information. But
Yeah,
Mhm.
but it is the cyberpunk future. I mean, everyone's just a phone call away.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know.
Mind texting.
Yeah. Atari would definitely immediately call the pizza man and say like, "Yo, why'd you kidnap a kid?"
Well, one thing, you can spend a clue to ask another player a relevant question about their character.
Mhm.
If we want to
Oh.
use the last
Yeah, as
clue,
long
not
as it
just,
comes
like,
from that phone.
character stuff. Yeah.
oh hey.
And why don't you like that Skrillex K-pop meet?
No, because Atari would hate both of those types of music too. He'd be like, "Ew, Dave Matthews Band. Ew, Skrillex K-pop." Like both of these guys are
oh,
uncultured.
get ready for my mid-90s coffee shop playlist that's gonna follow.
Yes.
No. Yeah, I think just save. I'm gonna save that hold for you guys to use later, and then I'll send the pizza man your way.
Yeah, so you order a pizza to the detective agency, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as Nicole leaves, like she's in the hallway, and you kind of see her like pull a piece of her hair down, and like it kind of moves like a bit of a twist tie, and she sticks one bit into her ear and kind of pulls the other around like the microphone, and like presses a button and starts talking to Ryland, like, okay, I got some stuff. We need to talk about this. Something's going down, and I'll meet you back at your office. And
Yeah, and I think we cut back to Ryland. He's back in the office. Things are looking. There's still some boxes around, but things are a lot better and less cluttered now. And he says, "Yeah," and he doesn't seem to have any obvious physical device he's talking in. I think because he grew up he grew up wealthy, he probably has like internal implants and nothing visible. Odds. He says, "Yeah, I'll pizza was it?" He gets the name of the place and he says, "Never had that before. First time for everything. Should I order now or wait till you're there?" Here.
Go ahead.
Shrugs. All right, let's give this a try. Like, we see his AR display, and he doesn't have many apps on, but he's like, okay, download the pizza app, and he goes through the app store. It's like,
It's
that's what you
called the
download.
pizza app, all caps.
It's probably called, yeah, the pizza app, all caps. The download speed's terrible in this place, so he
Mhm.
waits for a second. He's like, all right, but it's probably not that big of an app, so eventually it downloads. It. All right. Recognize some of these ingredients. As you may come to find out, Ryland can, I guess, cook, if you could call it that. Listen, he can make like ramen and mac and cheese, but he's never had to cook for himself until he can he mostly subsists on frozen food. So
The one thing that's set up in the office is the microwave.
yeah, actually, probably. There's probably a mini fridge as well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you live anywhere in this office, or do you?
I don't. He doesn't live in the office, no.
So I don't think it's that hard to order a pizza.
No, it's not. They have managed to make it trademark using their specific patent.
It's almost like after you fill
UI
out
design.
all of the options for pizza, it's almost impossible to close the app without ordering a pizza.
Yeah, you'll get a notification.
Impossible.
And it'll
Not
notify you
entirely
like, hey, do you
the
want to order
pizza,
that
like,
pizza now?
There's like 7 or 8 different prompts to like make it a regular delivery. Like every
subscribe pizza.
Yeah. It's not
Weekly?
impossible to leave the app without ordering a pizza, but it's really hard. You have to know where to look to see the little X.
Yeah. It's like, but he manages to order the pizza. I think he does accidentally subscribe to like a pizza a week without realizing it.
You get 50 cents off.
Yeah. I think he sees the discount and chooses that one without seeing the fine print of like charged monthly in advance. Like he
every week
you get a pizza, the same exact pizza. So he just paid for 4 pizzas without realizing it.
Yeah, unless you sign up for the premium plan that lets you change your subscription mid-month.
Change what pizza you want.
Yeah.
So yeah, he orders a pizza and several more.
All right, so a little bit of time passes.
About 45 minutes.
Nicole, you get back first. You walk in through the record store. Scratch is listening to ABBA and sort of like dancing in the background, like Travolta-ing behind the desk.
That wooden sign is now up there, just like hanging on a piece of yarn, basically, from the elevator.
The sign there?
Yeah, the like nice wooden carved sign. It's hanging from the handle. The door's not installed yet, so he's hanging it there.
Nice. I just head through and head up and completely ignore it.
Yeah, he's calling after you like, hey there, bright hair, how you doing? Your boy's upstairs.
Thanks.
Yep. The Ryland is sitting at his desk. He now has like an office chair. The desk is functional and working, and he's going over have so far in the case. He probably pauses partway through the recording of the like desperate, grieving, crying parents, like, we need to find our child, kind of, and he recorded it with the permission. He's going over the story again. Pause it when you get. Hey, so I ordered the pizza like you asked. Did you fill him in already on the phone? Like, talk to the pizza guy? Or is this now?
Probably. Mostly a matter of like, okay, I want to get together to, show you the actual phone data and stuff like that. And
Okay. So I think so what else do you find?
um, so Nicole like puts the phone down and starts playing the button. And if she hasn't told you before, she's most likely telling you about the guy that she got to actually hack the phone, who got the information. She's not actually telling you that she paid him.
Okay.
anything.
I don't think it would have come up. Imagine?
Hmm?
Maybe. Atari, I don't think until now. I imagine in the 2 days of conversation.
Oh yeah, no.
Probably not.
So he says, useful. Do you mention to Ryland that you might come back later? Do you mention to Ryland that you told Atari you might come back?
Oh, no. That's banking way too much on getting this job.
That's fair. She says,
Yeah.
There's a reason
Well,
I'm not
you're
telling you I'm
resourceful.
paying out of my pocket.
That's fair. Ryland's says that's resourceful. Well, looks like we'll talk to the pizza man, and then once that's done, eat the pizza first. I don't think there's a rush. He said there were shots fired. All right, let me see. I have a friend at. I imagine it could be called CPD, like City Police Department.
Mm-hmm.
I might be able to call him, see if he can tell me about anything that happened around. But let's wait for the pizza first. I have now. He does this I have a water cooler now. Want any? Not from the sink. And the bathroom's cleaner though. I don't have a couch yet, but there's probably some chairs to actually talk to where we would meet with him on the other side of the desk, so you can sit there. I think
Nicole will be like, thanks, and grab a bit of water, grab a seat, and kind of fiddle with her phone, basically trying to figure out what she can from the GPS data and whatnot, and exactly where it is, and making sure that she actually understands the things that
Yeah.
Atari did in seconds.
And this time, I think Ryland would start peppering you with questions. Not invasive questions, but he's trying to get to know you better. So he just asks. He probably starts off by asking about your clothing and fashion. He says, "I haven't seen anyone who dresses quite like you. Where'd you get the coat? It looks great."
And I'm still focused on the phone, but I'll kind of absentmindedly. Well, there's this place that down by the subway, and if you just go 2 streets to the left and just up a couple of blocks there, and it's not on the street level, but it's up there, and they have the most amazing different line of coats and
Okay.
whatnot. And
Yeah.
While you're talking, we cut back to Ryland's point of view. He has in his AR thing up. He has a file for every single person he's talking to. It's not in depth. It's not it's just he's making notes on what people say so he doesn't forget what they told him. And he has one for the guy downstairs, Old Scratch. He has one for the hot dog stall nearby. He just makes conversation with everyone, and anything he thinks he might forget later, he writes down so he doesn't.
AR sticky notes everywhere.
Exactly. So he's adding to yours as you're talking, and he's actually writing down the directions to that stall.
Yeah. So
if you keep doing that, you will have directions to so many random places.
It's so
city.
useful.
Yeah.
That's Ryland's point of view.
While y'all are chatting upstairs, I think that the camera fades through the floor to the pizza box that has been placed on top of some records, and next to it is Fiona flipping through the box of records downstairs at the shop.
What particular box are you flipping through? Anything in particular, or you just?
It's the new arrivals bin, the stuff that they haven't priced yet, and there's a flat price until they get to it.
Oh, okay. So it's just a mishmash of stuff.
Yeah.
And as a hand presses on your shoulder, you hear, you're looking through the good stuff. I haven't gotten to that yet, but there's some tasty choices in there.
Theon like looks around to both sides before turning around, realizing the person is in fact behind them and not off to the side of them. Then turns to face Old Scratch. It's like, I don't know, I'm looking for something that has emotion and feeling attached. Just, wild hand gestures.
Come on with me. There's a favorite decade of mine called the 70s. They created the funk.
And I turn to like go, and they reach back to grab the pizza. Like, oh, you know where this goes?
Ordinarily in my belly, but is it gotta go someplace specific?
Did you order a pizza?
No, but I'll gladly take it.
I pull up my phone. It's like, are you Ryland?
Oh no, you want the brother upstairs, man. He's yeah, take the elevator at the back.
Okay. I wander off towards the elevator with my pizza.
Y'all come on back if you wanna hear some of them tasty bass licks, man. Tell you, you ain't never heard nothing like it. Folks these days don't know music.
Definitely not those kids. So I wander into the elevator.
Yep. Obviously, we can hear the screeching of the elevator as it approaches, so we know someone's on their way up. So I would imagine when the elevator gets up, Ryland is like making like okay, and he's like put his hands on his desk like, okay, I'm position to welcome.
Yeah, I walk up to Theon walks up to the hole where the door is supposed to be, and they like stick their head inside.
Come in.
Hold the pizza.
Just on the right here. Yeah.
Here?
Yeah, come in.
And then
Come in.
fidget for my phone. You're Ryland?
Yes, I'm Ryland. Hi. What's your name? Ryland gets up and starts.
Theon.
Theon, nice to meet you. I will take that. Here you go, and he pays for the pizza.
Yeah, I get your authorization.
Yeah, and while he's paying, I think he's intentionally taking a bit to pay for the pizza, but he's still paying for it pretty while he's doing it. So, I haven't ordered a pizza before. What do you recommend? Like,
some other pizza place.
Nice one. I couldn't tell what this pepperoni.
Don't. No, please don't. Don't ask.
Oh, okay.
If you ask, I'm obligated to tell you.
By
Okay.
law, we must list the ingredients if you
If
I
I
just haven't had it
have to
before.
tell you.
Okay.
There's a part in that like what you have to divulge that says recently proven non-carcinogenic.
Up until recently, the state of California knew. It's only recently because the state of California is dissolved, not because they undeclared it.
Yes. So I think Ryland, yeah, he says, okay, well, would you like a slice, actually? Opens the pizza towards you.
Sniff it. I mean, it's kind of cold.
Thought it was it feels hot to me.
I mean,
It's
I'd let it cool down a little bit so it wouldn't mess up the records downstairs.
okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Why don't you sit down? Do you want anything? We have water. Gestures towards the.
Do you have mellow yellow?
I don't know what that is. I can get
I
some.
don't know what. Okay. If you have mellow yellow, that'd be great.
I can get some for later.
Go and wander into a chair.
Yeah. So
now Nicole, I would like you're sitting.
I'm
Maybe
sitting in a
at a
chair kind of against the side of the room there, like, I'm kind of doing the posture of the person who isn't there. I'm
Looking at your
looking at the
phone?
phone and pretending to not exist to some degree while scoping out what is this person.
Well, it's interesting because like in one ear, I'm assuming you have like a dread plugged into it or something, and you're like listening to the audio recording that
Yeah.
Atari pulled off, but in the other ear, you're hearing the same voice.
Yes.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, so if you're sort of being in the background, I think Ryland will. So, I wanted to ask you a few questions, if it's okay, about the whole pizza delivery job. I, it's a bit new to me. Do you ever like get any passengers or guests in the car? If I wanted to say I want to take a ride along and see what it's like.
Sure, where do you want to go?
Okay,
Just to
good to
think that
know.
makes sense, I have texted that information to you.
I assume you told me about the kid while we were waiting.
Sure. Yes.
Okay. Okay. I haven't decided yet. What about
You see the duck pond?
sorry?
It's just like a pond with a bench, and you can sit, and there's ducks. You can throw bread at them.
That sounds great. I mean we can go there afterwards. I was wondering, have you Bjorn, have you had any like passengers in your car recently? The last few days?
Now, it sounds like you're interrogating Theon a little bit. Would you like to investigate Theon?
That seems to be the right answer.
Yeah, I'm like Theon seems a bit in a daze right now, which is
Yeah,
great.
just,
And
Theon's
so
like,
it's less
just
that
like
he
thinking,
Yeah.
what's really a passenger? I mean, there's a ride along, but there's not like a
once a
stop
bird
off
stood on the car for a bit. That was a
arenas
passenger.
for discussion. I don't. Is that really a passenger? Are we just all passengers
Okay.
then? So you're gonna have me roll to investigate.
Okay, that's perfect.
Passengers, the friends you made along the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. Like, what is a passenger but someone that's with you? I guess.
I guess I will ask Indigo if any of these which of these tags are actually relevant to getting information out of you. I imagine that his earnest enthusiasm, personality. His tags are good intentions, mediator, or nice suit. Any of them
Nice
matter?
suit and good intentions help.
Okay. Um, business manager.
Eyes wide open would work here.
I think I was wondering what eyes wide open. I don't think I
Sure.
have my good reputation yet during the flight. So I think that's just 3. I'll use all 3 of them.
Cool.
Button to click. Oof.
Oh, 13. Okay. So that's a 10 plus. So on a 10 plus with investigate, your investigation runs smoothly without any complications. So you get 3 questions to ask, and you just get honest ass answers out of Theon.
Okay. So I think my first question will be, yeah, tell me like, don't think we even need to answer this, but I think I'm gonna spend once for our characters to learn about the kid and what your encounter was.
Yeah, the kid was sitting in the car. He's playing race car. I told him I got to drive. It's my car. And then the kid got over, and then we went on the delivery.
Okay, and where did you deliver to? And he like would probably already know, so he would name the near the apartment complex or street near.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
All right. When you got back from the delivery, was the kid there?
Oh, I didn't drive him back.
Okay. Was he waiting in the car still?
I mean, I was in the building for a little bit.
You left him in the car when you left, or did he get out of the car with you?
And he got out when I got out. And we
Okay.
went our separate ways. Two travelers walking on a path.
Okay. Now, I think Ryland by now has realized he needs to kind of lead Theon a bit in this. So he's like, okay, now go back to that night and remember getting out of the car. You walked towards the entrance to to the apartment. What direction did the kid go? And I think that's spending another.
Our roads diverged, man.
Yeah. Where did the kid go?
I went up and the kid went
out of the apartment complex into the street.
No, on the horizontal plane.
Uh-huh.
I went up to get to the apartment. It was not on the ground floor, and the kid traversed horizontally.
So he was on the
Man,
ground
those
floor.
Pizza fumes are rough.
Yeah.
It's all those chemicals and shit, man.
Oh, I was thinking the cyber
Especially
weed.
as it's not up.
But whatever.
Yeah. Okay. And thanks for a second of what else you could do. And then I don't think there's any more information I could think of to spend the last clue on, so I think
That's honestly all the information I have.
So I might just spend my last one about the
kid. He didn't go into the building with me.
Was there anybody else around who might have seen where the kid went? Because the next thing to do would possibly be ask another person.
That's fair, but I
think
think I want to ask a question specifically about Theon.
Okay.
Because I can't. Ryland is just like, this person is so unusual. So I think Ryland's. I think is going to ask. So, Theon, why don't you tell me about why you deliver pizzas? What appeals about it to you?
Oh, you can't get out of it.
I'm stuck.
How did you start?
Oh, I replied to an email. I replied to an email saying like, "Hey Theon, looking for a job? Here's a job." And I replied, "Thanks, Grandma. I'll apply." And then I got all signed up with the pizza company.
Your grandmother.
You need to get out of the basement. Here's a pizza job.
Okay. Back in my day, pizza jobs were honest and not scams.
No, you have to avoid people trying to take stuff. It's a real problem.
So I think Ryland's smile is somewhat forced now, just out of continual shock and surprise in this conversation. He says, "Okay, well, are you sure you don't want any pizza?" Takes one and he bites into a slice of pizza.
Did you ever find that yellow?
I like it. But he has that expression like he likes it, but he's not sure if he should like it. But he does like it.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
Shouldn't at all.
This is
It's
good
bad for you.
Yeah.
Hot Pocket main market, I guess.
Yeah. And he says, I'm gonna buy some, and next time you come here, there'll be some in that fridge.
Right on.
Right on. Well, it was good talking to you. I'm sure we'll see you around, Theon. I might order another pizza or two later.
You're on my weekly route now.
What? I think Ryland's. Huh?
You signed up for a pizza subscription.
Oh, I did, didn't I? And I probably share a look, or at least I look at Nicole. I don't know if Nicole's paying attention.
I also look at Nicole at this point.
Well, then we'll definitely be seeing more of each other.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if Theon would remember because he just doesn't seem the type, but you definitely passed by Nicole as you were leaving Atari's apartment the other night.
I do not recognize her.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
Nicole, say hi.
Just...
Sorry, if there was a delay, if you were like busy looking at your phone, he would have been like, "It's polite, come on."
Yeah, no, there's no delay. There's just,
Okay.
Hello.
Now, it does occur to you that, shots were fired in this recording. There's a kid missing. And You're stuck with public transportation. Just saying. The guy did offer you a ride.
Are we gonna go?
Hmm.
Go to that duck pond?
Yeah, let's go. Why don't
Yeah.
let's go to the fish pond or the duck pond? I think you said.
Okay.
Before the duck pond. Firstly, can we stop by Nicole? You want to pick up something from your apartment, right? And he gives you the right look.
Yeah, no, I've got an idea. Let's go take a look. Yeah,
Okay.
that's how to put it.
Right on.
Do you want to go
I
to a
go
break
down-
here?
I go
Or-
down. I head toward the elevator. It's like, y'all want to get some mixtapes from the place downstairs for the ride?
Sure. Yes, I think that'd be fun.
Y'all squeeze in the elevator.
Yeah.
You have to
I
be
think
like,
take
y'all
two
like Dave
trips. There's
Matthews
no
Band?
way.
We might. I think. Yeah. I think Rylan stays behind to lock up the office and takes the second elevator
Oh, okay.
and puts the rest of the pizza in the.
Well, as I'm writing with a person with colorful dreads, Fion's like, so what kind of music do you like?
Oh, like I don't know, pop and I have no idea.
K-pop plus Skrillex.
Synth,
No,
Okay.
no
some
thanks.
some pop synthwave garbage that. Sorry, I call it garbage.
There we go.
That's a
I'll stick
personal
with that.
GM opinion.
I like the idea that garbage
So-
has become a genre.
Yeah, it's
No,
stuff that's just pumped out every
there is-
day.
it's called garbage punk. It's very heavily distorted. It
I mean,
literally
I know
sounds
too
like
much.
banging on trash can and
I-
screaming.
That is that's just like a noise set. I've been to these shows like where there's an act where someone's just beating a chain against a floor. These things exist.
Hmm.
They're usually free. You could just kind of show up.
Oh, boy.
Okay. I think.
But yeah, so when Nicole figured out, okay, this voice is the same, watching on the phone was much more of a front than, not. So as we're heading down the elevator, I'm, kind of trying to pump you for, was there anyone else you noticed around when you dropped off the kid? Oh, there were garlic knots. What did these garlic knot people look like?
Garlic nut people.
I mean, the car just gives you an alert to dispense garlic knots. You just hit the button.
It's the organic proximity detector. Like it's the one that was supposed to warn you that you're about to hit a pedestrian, but instead it just dispenses garlic knots.
I just imagine if you end up hitting someone with your car, it'll be like this.
Garlic nuts
on 'em.
Imagine just the scene of the crash, sirens, everything, and then after the crash is done, like a delayed airbag, garlic knots pop out of the side.
I like the idea of getting
The
lifted.
computerized voice just enjoy the complimentary garlic knots.
I just
Garlic knots.
I just feel like the image of someone being hoisted up into the back of the ambulance on the gurney, and just they have the box of garlic knots on their chest.
But in my head, I have a vision of like a chalk outline and a bunch of like CSI. Like,
Little
I don't know
chop.
what happened. A little garlic knots, and one of the cops just picks one up and
Right.
goes, pizza factory.
All of these are.
I
except
recognize
for
that
garlic
specific
knots and
blend.
special tags.
Dough
I'm
paste.
sorry, we were doing a noir
We
show,
were about to
and
go-
I made the wrong character again.
I think it's great.
But
Okay.
it fits in.
Let's go to break, and we'll be back with more
Yeah.
garlic knots and investigations.
I think we just
We're back. Part
Yeah.
2, Episode 1. Should say that in reverse order. Neon Quartz.
The End Courts, Episode 2, Session 1.
All right, session.
part B.
Part B.
The B side.
Yeah, it's B-side. You're right. It's
Special name.
The End Courts, Episode 2, Session 1, B-side.
Anyways,
Episode title of Gordian Garlic Knots, I think, is
write that down.
If there's not a mystery that has to deal with the Gordian garlic knot, I'm gonna lose my mind.
We gotta rescue it from the sauce dimension.
Uh,
So, what's going
So
on?
yeah,
I was going to make a
three
phone
of
call
you-
to a cop
yes, you
friend.
were.
Okay, so I think we were heading back to my place to get something. So
Yep.
at
Totally.
this point, as we pull up, I'm kind of just. We've been spending enough time with Theon that we're pretty sure if we let him loose, something interesting will happen.
We pull up to the building. Finn pulls in front of the fire hydrant and puts on the Park Anywhere lights and get out.
Now, Rylan, you said you were making a phone call?
While we were on the way, yeah. While sitting in the car, I think I want to. Is there a circles equivalent? Someone.
Yeah, so if you want to summon an ally, which I think is what you're
yeah.
trying to do, you can do a move called Change the Game.
Okay.
So Change the Game, it can be used for setup a bunch, but what we're looking at here is creating a story tag, and the story tag is going to be the person you're calling.
Yes. Sense. So yeah, I think I want to change the game. Give us an advantage. This person. They're going to be the one cop who actually likes me. I think it's probably we knew each other before he became a cop, because I'm just starting out still. So I think he is a cop. And yeah, we knew each other beforehand. That's my head.
Criminal justice class at the community college annex.
I wouldn't have gone to community college, though. Remember, Ryland grew up rich, even if he isn't rich now. So
you're both on like some sort of like criminal justice forum on the internet. Like,
yeah, could be something like that.
That's a thing a nerd like you would be into, is a criminal justice forum.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I would definitely be on the detective
Discord
forums.
watch.
It's like a very strictly moderated Reddit page. It's like only on topic stuff, no deviation for any reason. We just focus on our niche criminal justice issues.
Yeah.
It's like it's the neighborhood watch page basically. So people go in there with tips to the police, but
Tips
you're
to the
on there to also
police.
get tips on possible cases.
Yep. I also probably
he's like
took
a
like an
mod.
online course for how to be a good PI.
Oh, of course. Masterclass.
Yeah, masterclass. Okay, so I'll call him up. I don't want to change the game, so I will use my tags.
Yep. Find tags that are applicable to what you're doing, and basically what you're doing is just calling over there and having a conversation with the guy.
Yeah, and I'm planning to ask him to help me out with it, like, give me information.
Yeah, so basically what this is going to do is snowball into either maybe a convince or an investigate.
Okay.
Using that story tag as power for that next roll.
Okay. If I use story tags to call him up, does that mean I can't use those story tags?
No, basically you're changing the game by adding and you'll generate juice by changing the game. That'll be equal to the power of the roll.
Okay.
So you have that much juice. For each juice, you can spend 1 for 1 to create a story tag, burn a power tag, or a story tag. Like if a bad guy has a power tag or a story tag is used against you, you can use juice to neutralize it.
Okay, cool.
You can give or reduce a status with your juice as well. So if you call this guy up and create the story tag and roll really well and want to spend some juice on him to like give him a status of very friendly or something like that, so that story tag can stick around with that status on him so you can call on him again later.
Okay. In terms of now, this is just stuff for knowing the guy.
So what you're adding up for with the power is anything that would add into the action itself, like calling him up and basically convincing him to help you with this is the action you're taking to change the game.
Then I think right now I have City-wise up. I have my weakness. I'm going to invoke Raya from Authorities. Ethical Success Mission.
Okay.
I have...
So that's back down to 0?
Yes.
That's +1, -1.
Yep. my honest convictions or a good reputation. I might not have a good reputation publicly yet, but I might with this guy if I already.
Yeah, so you've
those
got a
both count.
power of 2 on this.
And I'll see if there's any. Oh, my personality. Obviously, I have good intentions. You can't see my suits, but yeah, that's good. So +3 power.
Mhm.
what's the game?
Uh-oh.
Double
Oh,
ones.
no.
Yikes.
Yep.
Oh wow.
So,
Rolled real bad.
yep. A failure on that means you miss, and basically you get in touch with the guy, you call over. What's his name?
I do not know. His name will be Dylan.
Dylan. Okay. So yeah, you get in touch with Dylan after waiting on hold for a little while because Dylan had to get back to his desk, and picks up the phone. Yeah, Rylan, how's it going?
Oh, hey, Dylan. Yes, good. I'm good. How are you?
A little busy over here. So what's up?
Well, I was asked by someone if I could look into, I probably, yes, I don't think I named her. I just say like this woman's kid is missing, and she asked me to find him. Just a small thing, but I was hoping. How are you feeling about? I give him the like address. I think there might be any like city or traffic cams around the corner of like this and this. Um, it's just a quick peek.
He's like corner of First and Johnston. No, that's an active investigation. Rylan, you can't be involved in that.
If there's an active investigation, but
Of course there is. There's a missing kid.
Yeah, but his parents came to me.
Well,
So that's
parents can do whatever they want. I mean,
okay. They told me they told me you guys weren't helping them.
I mean, you would know that active investigation doesn't mean that they're actively investigating.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I understand. Dylan, I can you share with me maybe we can help each other, because I have some information on what happened to the kid before he got to that corner, and I can share that with you if you want to tell me what happened at the corner.
Yeah, as you're talking, you hear like a muffled voice in the background. And Dylan says, and then you hear the voice a little bit louder, and tell that private snoop to stop sticking his nose where it don't belong. Now hang up the phone.
I'll talk to you later.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
The captain's here.
See ya.
Bye, Rylan. And he just hangs up.
There we go. Oh, that's great. Okay. Well, who was that hacker you talked to before? I tried. It's a perfect end. I turn to Nicole. I say, think we might need their help.
Oh,
Dealing
sure.
with the cops cost double.
Do we just show up? Like, is the next? Do we just cut to another
Yeah,
knock
that
at the
sounds
door?
Yeah, I think because he probably has this idea in his head of like, they paid me a lot just to break a phone. They're probably going to pay me a lot to do a lot of other easy shit that I can do. So I think he's trying to get in. So you knock on his door, and he actually physically opens the door, and he goes, you need me to break into another phone?
It's all of us there, right?
Ian's in the building.
It's just,
We'll
see,
find
like,
him later.
we see the shot from over Atari's shoulder as the two of you are standing there, and across the courtyard on the balcony, you can just see Fionn like traipsing back and forth, knocks on a door. Somehow he's got a bowl of soup now.
This is kind of the
Meet the
perfect place for
neighbors?
him. Yeah. Like
This is the perfect place to put Fionn because he just gets free food.
Yeah, he just can wander around and talk to people.
He
And
needs to move in, apparently.
So I think Ryland. Actually, no, Nicole, you can talk. It's your person so far. He said.
No, we don't have another phone, but Ryland here had the idea that maybe we could take a look at the cameras around that area. Do you know if you could you do something like that?
Hacking into the cameras and being going past the cops. Cops cost extra.
I mean the traffic cameras. Mostly.
Right, but it's still illegal to hack into a traffic camera.
And Theon at this point is walking up with the soup and just like, you just ignore those tickets that they send you from the camera. If a real person didn't see you do it, it didn't really count.
Thanks, Vion. Always good. Good tip.
Atari gives me a look like, shut the fuck up, man. I'm trying to get a good deal here.
Yeah.
You know, those cameras are just a scam that someone installed and they just like send the data to the police station. They just get fees for taking the pictures no matter what. They just
Mr.
My line of work doesn't want any extra heat on them.
Mr. Atari,
compensation.
there's a child is missing, and we were hoping that you could help with it. I think that there won't be any heat for that.
We're not doing anything wrong, and we are a private investigation firm, so it's not like the stuff shouldn't be in our hands.
Everything you do will remain private. If you want us to, I could try to roll to convince you. I don't know if that's a thing for player versus player.
I think he would have to be like. Are you saying you're not going to pay him? Like
he doesn't want to pay you extra, like double.
You don't even know what I paid in the first place. I never told.
Yeah, I know, but he's just like, what we're doing is right, and I want to get this person on my side. Is more. I think actually, that's what it is. It's less about the money. It's more about like getting you on his side, not even to agree with him. Yeah.
Okay. Is that a change the game roll? I'm trying to.
I think there's a convince.
There's
a
convince move.
There's a convince. Yeah. There's a convince move.
So I'll roll again. I'll roll and we'll see. Good intentions. I think mediator might matter here too, because this is the first kind of conflict. Now, does my nice suit? Do you care about that at all?
Sure. Okay. It makes it look like you have money.
Yeah. One clarification: does the nice suit make you look like one of those corporate assholes from downtown?
Ooh, no, it's not that nice. I actually specifically just like it. It is not that nice intentionally. It's friendly.
It's obviously a nice. We talked about it. It's obviously a nice suit, but it's not like you get any cred for it being like
it's not
an expensive suit. You don't get any points for it being expensive or of like rare materials. You just like it's a decent suit and it's well tailored and like it makes you look professional, but not like you have money.
Okay. So that's all three tag.
Here's a question: is there any way to, I guess, make this a team role in any way, shape, or form? Like
you can help.
Have the group
So you have help and hurt points. You can spend those, and you basically spend them like you would spend juice.
Okay.
So you can spend those to like give a beneficial status to someone that would help with their role.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to do that in this case. Just trying to think of a beneficial status. Being local wouldn't help in your eyes at all, would it?
Friendly neighbors?
Yeah. Vouched for? Like, this guy's okay.
Let's say sure, because he's not like the kind of asshole. Like he still is given food from people. Like he's not the asshole to be like, no, I don't want your food, right?
Yeah,
like,
he's not full on hostile.
He's not a hostile person. He's just like, I think he's just a quick to anger person.
Okay. So is that then like just spend a help point and basically give Ryland the status of vouched for?
Yeah, vouched for 1.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll add that to my tracking card below.
Yep, yeah, you can track those on your character sheet. Now it is just useful for the one roll, for the one situation, basically.
Okay, so I won't buy. And then I'm adding honest convictions. About
Mhm.
12.
Boom.
There we go.
Okay.
So with convince, just so we see see what happens on a 10 plus. Let's see here. A hit indicates you managed to exert some influence over your target. Choose a stick, a status that reflects a negative outcome for the target in case the target decides to resist and act differently than you asked. So the tier of the status is equal to the power of this action. So basically, you're
I'm
using
inflicting a
convince.
status to.
Yeah.
Okay. So level 4
Okay.
status of like.
Well, it calls it out here. Like the stick could be a psychological or social outcome such as guilty 3, or something like that. So you could be like guilting them into it. It just depends on your tactic on what the effect is.
Okay.
I think I have a suggestion.
Yes.
You probably play upon like he's a kid alone, right? So he's probably scared. So that makes him think back of when he was a kid alone getting bullied.
Okay.
So you like make him think of like, oh shit, like yeah, I should probably help you.
Okay. So yeah, like, basically like a conscience kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you like guilt him into
So you're
doing it.
so you're risking like a shamed 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
Or was it
Where do
4?
I put that?
Shamed
It's
4.
It's if you don't do it, or
Yeah, if he doesn't do it, he gets the status.
okay. I
Okay.
think that makes sense.
And
for
then
us.
where would I put my status? Just
There's tracking cards below the character cards.
that's what these are for?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, okay. And
That's
then
stuff for just your
status
character.
is the
Status is
farthest
the-
right one.
Just on.
Green. Green is status.
Well, that's my color coding.
Right.
Who's
It looks
I
like
gotta
the
actually
little
look
health
at-
pack.
Yeah.
Okay, so 4, and then it was shame.
Yeah. Ashamed.
Ashamed.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so then if I don't help you, I will get that thing.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Which would be on any future rolls if the ashamed status would affect it. Works like harm and blades. You'd get a -4 to your roll.
For my shame.
Yeah.
Okay.
For your
Yeah.
shame. How does statuses go away as long as we're
You can heal them. Changing the game can you have to narratively describe how you're getting rid of it.
Okay.
Basically.
So-
Also, during downtime, you can heal your statuses.
In this
Okay.
case, would
So-
getting rid of it just be helping us?
Well, he
Yeah,
doesn't
'cause
have
it
it
says
at all.
there on the roll. I don't have
until-
it yet until I choose not to help you.
Yes.
Right? It's because it says your target should choose either to take the status or change their agenda to include yours, at least for the time being. So I
Yep.
think I agree to
And on
help
a-
you, so I don't take that status.
Correct.
And on a 10 plus, you have to. What was the exact wording?
Roll20 is glitching for me.
Yeah, you must fully promote their agenda at least temporarily to avoid the status. Like you're all in on a
Mhm.
10 plus.
And then so he'll probably just go, all right, I'm in. You don't need to pay me. It's probably an easy job. The phone was easy enough, so I'll just count that for both.
You're a good man.
Yeah, try.
Okay.
All right, take me to this street corner.
Yeah, let me put this down. And Fion reaches into your apartment and like puts the soup bowl and the spoon in your apartment. We'll get him on the way back.
I'll deal with that later.
Okay. To nation on the data.
Yeah. So you get over to what I say before, 4th and Johnston.
Whatever.
That was first in Johnston.
First in
Whatever.
Johnston.
Whatever it was.
Number
Child.
and name.
Child kidnapping scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why have just auto drive when you can just have auto GPS for?
What makes you think there's a GPS here?
So yeah, as
The
you're
GPS is Fion's phone.
As you're on your way over, you do start noticing some bit heavier graffiti, some gang markings, things like that in the area.
How far away was it from the
Cool,
building?
that one's a tiger.
How far away was the location from the? How far? Did he wander?
It was like a 10-minute drive.
Oh, okay. So he wandered for a while.
Yeah, he wandered back. He tried going home. You
Just went
noticed
the wrong way.
not in the right direction.
Yeah.
But
This is why parents need to. They won't get.
chip your
Yeah, then
kids,
people
folks.
like me can hack them and see where they're going.
Chips are bad for kids. It's too much salt and fat. Give your kids like an apple or something.
My only
Something with
solace is
some
that the comedy
fiber.
relief usually dies.
So,
Oh
Yes.
God.
But yeah, as you're going, you're obviously getting into a gang controlled territory, and all of you live in the city. You should
Yeah.
notice the signs, with the exception of one of you, just hits the garlic knots button. But yeah, there's you get to the last GPS point location that the phone was showing. There are there is traffic cameras. There's a utility box basically on every street corner with all the wiring and stuff for it. As a hacker, you would know that you can't remotely hack anything. Like it's
Yeah,
all
you gotta plug in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably as we're like coming up toward the street, he just throws the hood of his jacket up. He doesn't have his fur jacket yet. That comes later. But yeah, he just throws up his like sweatshirt hood and he says, now I'm gonna try and hide my face as best I can because they're gonna probably look at this later. But you could maybe cause a distraction or something. I don't know.
Distraction?
How do you
Distraction
distract a
I can do.
camera?
Shine a bright light at it. I don't know anything. Cause a
I
car
just
accident. Who
looked
cares?
at Nicole.
I
it's a
can
car accident.
I can crash a car.
No, we need your car.
I can,
That's
I
how
can,
we
cra-
get
I can
home.
crash a car.
No, please no. That's a horrible idea.
I just love how Fiona's like, I need to get out of this job. And everyone's like, nope, stay in it. Stay in it. We like the perks of you
We
being
need
in
the
it.
car. We need the car.
Drive, pizza slave.
So
So are we looking to
What
distract
do we-
cameras or distract any people?
what do we need here?
I would say the cameras because like they're gonna see man in hooded sweatshirt walk up, jack in, and then do a thing. Like even if there's a way just to blind the camera temporarily.
All right.
I mean, I can put the car between you and the camera.
That also could work.
Just crouch next to the car as I drive real slow.
So as we're pulling up here, like if we're stopping the car, and I'll ask kind of where are the cameras, and I can, I guess, detach a bit of one of the purple bits of my hair, and basically, okay, so it's right there, and she kind of gauges and like breaks off a part of it, and then just chucks it to basically hit the camera. It's a glitter bomb, basically.
Nice.
All right.
I
Well,
was-
yeah, glitter bomb.
Changing
Is
the
this
game.
changing the game?
like a list.
Of
At some
moves.
Of gadgets.
No, never
Here's
mind.
a list of gadgets.
Yeah.
There's hit it with all you got, which doesn't seem right.
Hmm.
This could be. There's not like a help is the problem without spending these points.
I think
It's
it's
not like
changed the game.
I
Yeah,
think
you
it's
can
changed the
basically
game.
change the game to give a. You can
The camera
basically give
status.
the cameras a status. Yeah.
Yeah, it's either that or
Status
face
of,
danger.
you know, very blurry, not working. Okay, so change the
Lens
game.
flare 3.
Yeah.
We're gonna
The
We're
J.J.
hitting up.
Abrams status.
There's
we're,
the
we're
joke.
turning this mode to Abrams.
Okay, I definitely want to start there. Yeah, let's just go with that for easy beginnings. So let's just change the game, roll with, I guess, multiple functional hair LED stuff. And I'll leave it with just one because why not?
Now, there is an option if you want to use just one to get more power on the roll. You can burn the tag, which means that it's gone until you recover it, but it's a +3 to your roll.
That sounds horrendously terrifying.
This also seems kind of low stakes for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just putting it out there since since it's the first like +1 roll we've had. I just wanted to throw that mechanic out to you guys that you can burn a tag for a +3.
I'm considering just adding on a little bit, like, okay, I chuck that thing, and then it's like, get out the phone and start almost taking a video, like, hey, look, there's this kid, he's missing, and if you know anything about this street corner, come and tell me. Yada,
Like
yada.
being a
But
vlogger.
I'm not sure that feels kind of like a separate action. Am I correct?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'll generate more juice, which means you could create separate story tags or separate statuses because it's 1 for 1.
Okay.
So you could do multiple things with one change the game action.
Okay, so like one blinded and one distracted or something like that instead of.
Yeah,
Sweet.
or it could be one character, a camera blinded one, and then a story tag of crowdsource,
Focused
you know,
elsewhere, or
or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's deal with the hair, let's deal with social media, and let's go with flashy as well and go with that distraction thing.
There you go.
Change the game 3 up. Oh, okay.
That's a
Mm.
10. So you have 3 juice basically you can use to create any of those following effects.
Okay. It makes most sense to me to basically do one on each. Oh, that doesn't actually get blue. So let's go with distracted 2 and blurry 1 or something like that.
Well, what the other thing you could do is create the status and then add on prolong the effect or scale up the effect. So you're catching like all the cameras with it if you scale it up, and then you could prolong the effect so it's the cameras are burned out for a while.
That
Not just
I
glitter,
like the idea of
it's like
scaling it up and getting all of them, for
electro
sure.
glitter
Yeah.
that short circuits the cameras or something.
Magnetic glitter.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. That's fantastic, and I'm going with it.
It sticks to everything.
Yeah, it's extra
You
sticky
cannot
glitter.
get rid of this stuff.
Okay, so the cameras, yeah, they have a status of let's see, it'd be a 1 power status. So yeah, it's basically fuzzy reception 1
Yeah.
as all the magnetic stuff like just attaches to the lenses of the cameras.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out where we're tracking these.
I see the
things,
problem.
or-
The cameras are distracted by the cat. Is the cat?
Yeah,
I don't know
I'll
if it's in
track
the
that on
stream.
here. For
Wait,
the-
which cat? Because I
For the-
also have a cat yelling here.
Oh,
Mine's-
the
mine
cat's
is
in.
currently-
We can't hear your cat.
Oh,
The
I
one that
can
is
hear-
on screen.
I can hear the cat through my headphones and through a closed door.
Oh,
I
we
heard
heard
it
it
there.
then.
And it went meow.
Yeah, the cat is hungry, and that's what it is. But it's not the time to feed the cat yet. There's a schedule.
Mhm.
There's a schedule.
There's a schedule. Yeah, so that's it'd be this one, right? That's another status.
Yeah, I'm
So we
doing
have
it
3
right now.
power, so let's make it a 2 blurry, and then not actually prolonging the effect, but
Scaling it up.
degree of effect.
You're in
Exactly.
the way.
A lot of
Get in my
glitter,
mouth.
short amount of time.
Yeah.
Okay, and then working off of that, so am I able to use that status tag to help my role, or is that like if they try to look at the cameras later, we can go like, oh, it was a fuzzy thing, right?
Basically, yeah. Like what you're gonna be doing is you're trying to override a security system, which will have a status track on it.
Hmm.
So you'll have to meet a certain status before the alarm status kicks in. So the alarm
Okay.
status is basically going to build up alongside your hacking status. Okay.
Okay.
What this will do is mitigate the circumstances should that alarm go off.
Okay. Um. So it would be, what would it be, like go toe to toe?
For hacking, like you actually want to confer statuses onto the hub that you're hacking.
Okay.
So anything that allows you to do that, yeah, toe to toe, hit it with all you got if you're going like nuts on it, because nothing's really stopping you other than that security system, which is just like
Yeah.
any other enemy.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think because he wants to get it done as fast as possible, so I think it might be a hit it with all you got.
Get in
'Cause I
there,
feel like
just like
this is the
download the
moment
footage
to
and
do
look
it.
at it later.
Yeah, he's not trying to download all the footage. He's trying to download the footage based off of the data they already have, right?
So the time frame that the phone was in this spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that would be, I have to use my AR goggles to do it, right?
Yes, because that's like your
My
it's like a
hacker
laptop screen.
interface.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
will do Elite AR goggles, forearm data jack. I will use my computers from Computer Hacker, my hacking, my quick and effective, and I think I'm gonna use my weakness
Now,
of jacked in. Huh?
just so we're clear, because of that, remember I said before that you can't
Right.
use the same tags again. If
Uh-huh.
you don't confer the status that you need, like the tier of status that you need, you're gonna have to
Okay.
roll again to add to that status.
Okay.
So you may want to look into rationing those out just in case you have to make the same action again with different tags.
Okay.
Understand
I
that?
Do
Still
I
think
know
it'd
what
be
I
more
need to hit
useful to get it
first?
all done.
No.
10 plus.
You don't know the status or the tier of the status that you need to hit. That's a hidden thing. You can investigate the piece of machinery before you hack it if you'd like to get some more information. But
Okay. I guess it's because we don't have a lot of time with the cameras like that. I guess I'll just do my hacker gear first. In that case, yeah, I'll just roll with my hacker gear first, and then if I need to fall back on my training, I'll do that. So hit it with all you've got. So I'm just rolling +2 power. Ugh.
That's just
yeah, as you're screwing around in there, you accidentally connect two nodes that shouldn't be connected. You know you fucked up. Like there's a red light that comes on. You know that means that it's transmitting a signal back to headquarters.
Okay.
Now it's not fully at alarm yet, but
Okay, then I will attempt to I guess go
actually
toe to toe.
I should say, like, you recognize that this thing is now running a self-diagnostic. That happens right before it sends an alarm trigger.
Okay, then I want to can I use go toe to toe with my computers, my hacking, my quick and effective to basically like scramble it to make it send it to a different intersection?
recognize it, or it makes it think
Like
someone
it sends
else.
data of like I just like changed the GPS coordinates to a different intersection as
Yeah,
it
you like
sends
route
that
it.
out.
Yeah,
A
Yeah.
different camera's being hacked.
Yeah.
yeah. It would add to the same tier of onto the same status track of override,
Hmm.
because that's the general status track that we're trying to add into to a certain tier.
Yeah.
But yeah,
O-
yeah, you can do that.
Okay. I think I have to use the rest of my things at this point. I use computers hacking, quick and effective. I don't think bioencoded would help here. It just means like
No,
It just means
my
your stuff can't be used by other people.
yeah. Okay, then I'm just rolling +3 go toe to toe. I got an 8.
okay.
Choose one.
So with toe-to-toe on an 8, 7 to 9, choose one. You manage to achieve your goal, take something they hold, you get them good, giving your opponent a status with tier equal power, probably what you want to be looking at. Or you block, dodge, or counter their best attempts.
I can only choose one of those.
Mm-hmm. Which means that likely at least one of the other two is going to happen since you didn't roll a 10 plus.
Okay.
I guess that comes down to G or G.
Yeah, do you want the info? Do you want to stop it or hit him where, or
I think
lash out?
if I think I can get the info, I'll try and get the info. So a tier 3 status of hacked.
Oh, it's the first one. You managed to achieve your goal. Take something they hold. You.
Oh,
I'm not sure. It's a
is
Zen.
that how that works?
Yeah.
Because you said it was like a track.
Yeah. Now going toe to toe, like achieving your goal and or for example taking something they hold, that's more meant for person v person, like getting the grail away from the Nazi, that kind of thing.
Okay, so then the
But if
status makes the
the
most
camera was
sense.
trying to transmit information, and he was trying to get information from them, why can't both happen? The camera transmits everything.
I don't think the camera itself is storing any of the
because he
information.
doesn't have access to the system yet. He hasn't
Okay. Makes sense.
overridden the security yet.
Yeah.
It's still locked
okay.
up. The door's still locked.
Yeah.
Gosh, I don't know what
Tier
to
3
do
status.
here.
Their best
Yeah.
attempts back might just
When
be a
in
status
doubt,
in
give it a
reverse.
status.
That's called like reverse IP
Give it a
or something
status
like that.
and see what
Because it would
happens.
still, it's even if they send the information off, they'd still have to send a patrol out.
Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
I think the funniest thing to do would be to decompress the signal that it sends, so it just takes forever to load.
I'm gonna do the tier 3 status of hacked on it.
Okay.
And then just not care about the info getting sent out.
Okay. So you make it in. Tier 3 is what you needed to get override on this.
Okay.
However, as you access and download it into your goggles, whatever storage media you have with this device, you notice that there's some feedback, some electronic noise that develops into a static charge that pulses the line. And you're going to take a status of zapped 2.
Ouchies.
Can we tell that this happened?
Oh yeah, you hear him like howl out in pain.
I'm assuming we also hear the bug zapper sound of the the anti-personnel charge on the camera post.
He curses in Japanese. I don't know any Japanese curse words, so he curses in Japanese and jumps back in the car and says, "I got it. Go, go, go."
Are you? I think there's like the probably faint scent of smoke. You jump back into the car, and Hyland's like
burning plastic.
Yeah. Are you okay?
Fucking drive the car.
And I'm noticing that they're saying to run, and I'm
back
like,
to the apartment. Ryland
Which
says in a
apartment?
panic. Back to my office then.
Get the address?
You've been there before. Old Scratch Records. Go to Old Scratch Records.
I know where that is. Old Scratch Records.
Oh
I
man.
was like jumping to get into the car, and by the time I'm there, it's like they're having this conversation about where we're going. I'm like, okay, apparently it wasn't so fast.
The whole time Atari's like, pedal to the metal, go.
Yeah, in the background, just go, 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 go.
They are literally coming right now.
Okay.
So you get into the car. You take off at what, 30, 40 miles an hour?
Oh no,
you go above the speed limit. You said.
Yeah, as you round the corner, there's you notice the CPD cop cars come whizzing past you, lights and sirens, heading back
standard.
They'll never look at a
standard
police
pizza delivery speed.
Yeah.
And then you take another quick left and a right, and you come up to what looks to be a bunch of old junk cars in the road, and a couple of barrels on fire with some street toughs hanging around out there. It looks like they've
roadblock?
blocked off this section of the road.
Yeah, so Fion's gonna roll down the window and stick their head out. It's like, y'all mind moving these boxes out of the way? We gotta make it down the road.
Beyond.
I would like to
Is
roll to
this
convince
safe?
them.
Yeah.
I would like to roll to convince them to move their shit out of my way.
Okay.
Alright. I'm gonna gesture to the big sign on my car that says I'm moving a pizza.
All right.
Yep. It's pretty late. What time is it?
Dusky.
Dusky? Okay. Well, I know what street I'm on because I know every street.
You know the streets, just not where things are.
We're not the. That's not. I know where everything is. It's I know every street.
True.
Now, this street does go where you need it to go, but
Yeah.
there's some things in the way.
This wasn't on
Yeah.
a GPS.
Yeah.
And funnily
gonna roll.
enough, gang barrier isn't entered into Google every day.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
I rolled a 7.
You got a 7.
That's enough.
Yep.
Mm.
So on a 7 to 9 to give in a little, but protect their own agenda. Okay. So, yeah, what is the status that you're going to inflict upon them if they do not?
Hungry.
Hungry is actually great.
Greasy fingers. from
Unsuspicious.
Garlic knots.
Unsuspicious or something like that. What's
More just I don't know what negative can come of this. They have all of the power is the problem in this exchange. So it's hard to think what status I would give them if they don't do it. If they don't do it, they're just gonna feel morally inept. Like they don't like they know it wasn't the
Guilty.
right thing to do.
Listen, man, he's
They're
just
like,
a
"This
pizza
poor
man.
pizza man."
Everyone, it's yeah.
It's like
It's like
just
shooting a
trying to
medic.
work. It's not like
Shooting is
So
like
guilty?
robbing a pizza person. The like street gang equivalent of a war crime. Like it's just a thing you're not.
I mean,
supposed
yeah,
to do.
it could be a hit to their street cred to, like,
You
interrupt.
went after
Yeah.
the pizza
The
person?
pizza
That was the
guy.
boss's pizza, man. You don't go after the boss's pizza.
yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah, but I asked them nicely if they could get their stuff out of the way.
So yeah, it's a 7. So I think one of them comes over and says, "So pizza, huh? It's getting around dinner time."
I mean, I got the anti-personnel knots.
Nah, man, I got some hankering for some za. Those garlic knots have probably been in there all day. I know how you guys roll.
Ah, man.
Probably set up specifically for.
It doesn't make a pizza unless
This
you
is, like,
order it
fastest
through the
food.
app.
Well, come on, man, you gotta have something other than those day old garlic knots.
I lean back into the car. Y'all have like snacks?
I can hack the car to make a pizza if you'll let us please just go.
Ryland cautiously brings up a 6-pack of Yellow Mellow he picked up while they were while he was
Yeah,
waiting
I
on you
reach back
guys.
and grab one, and I don't hand it to him. I'm just now holding it. It's like,
Yeah, the guy just
Ah.
reaches in the car and takes it.
Yeah.
well, that's what I got.
Yeah, if you want to hack the car to create a pizza, it sounds like change the game to me. Creating the story tag of pizza.
Oh no, but Zapped is gonna count.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh man. Okay, I will change the game by hacking the car to make pizza. I will be using my Elite AR goggles, my forearm data jack, and I will actually be using my defining event of constantly bullied to pick your battles.
Yeah, that's fair.
This is my battle. I am making.
I'm choosing to make this man a pizza. All right. And then -2. How do I? Can I just like put the -2 in, or is there?
Yeah, there's a
button?
minus side to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
1, 2.
This
All
battle
right.
is better than the one with the cops.
Yeah.
Oh boy, I
Pay
think
the
I
pizza
might.
tax.
I will also add quick and effective because then I can still use computers and hacking if this goes bad. So I'm rolling at a power 2 total.
Okay.
Okay. Change the
Be a
game.
long list. There.
Yes.
14. Nice. All right, so you can create
Yeah.
a story tag of pizza.
It's time
Yes.
for double sixes.
It is great pizza. It is the best pizza this van has ever made.
You probably
Are you
literally
scaling up
bypass
the
some of the
pizza?
things. Yeah.
You
I
could scale
scale
up.
up the pizza.
Yeah.
Oh. Bypass the like cost restrictions.
Mhm. It uses there's like secret like nitrogen frozen like ingredients that are
Probably
in
only for
in the
premium
cupboard.
accounts only allowed.
Oh yeah, there's the premium app too.
The
It's the same
premium
server.
Yeah, but you get better
Yeah.
ingredients and you access that.
Oh yeah, it's like
Yeah.
flash. It's actual
Like
synthetic
actual
pepper. It's
pepperoni.
actually synthetic pepperoni as opposed to pepperoni flavoring.
Yeah.
It is a pea-based protein pepperoni.
Yep. I hacked the car to make that.
So is it level? Is it with story tag pizza? Do you want to prolong the effects so we can hack it, like keep it hacked for a while?
No, it only needs to make one.
Okay.
As I
It's
lean
a-
back, it's like
it's a
you're hacking the
great
car.
pizza.
Ooh,
Can you also hack in my tip?
that could be a thing. Give a status.
That could be the increased effect. Yeah, you could, or
Yeah.
just another story tag of extra credit.
Wait, but hold on. So I create a tag of pizza, but then I can't scale it up if I do another thing, right? Because I have power
Yeah,
2,
you have,
right?
you
you
only
have
have power
power.
two.
You can do 2 things on that list, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you need to scale it up?
I don't need to. He
Not
just wants
really.
pizza.
He just wants a pizza.
Yeah. Well, you could also
If I
give him
scale it up, he might
several
like us.
pizzas.
I kind of like that idea because these people are pretty nearby where that kid went missing. This could be useful.
Yeah, we could just make friends with them.
Yeah. I will
Trade you
make
pizza for a
pizza
kid.
and I will tear it up.
Okay.
This is some
So
like.
it's damn fine.
This is
pizza.
not Little Caesars now. This is up to Papa John's level.
This is
Yeah.
Pizza Hut.
Domino's.
No one out pizzas the Hut.
What else pizza's
So-
the Hut?
Pizza
So you
the
give the
Hut.
guy the pizza. He like reaches his hands in and you hand him the pizza. He walks back to the assemblage and he's like, "Yo, little Tim, come get some pizza." And you see
Is
a
it the
kid
kid?
come running out.
Ryland is just open mouthed. Like,
Fiend's like leans over. It's like, is that the? I think that's the kid from the other night.
Nicole sticks her-
oh,
I am in so much trouble.
good job, Fionn and Tari, for finding the kid. As the two detectives look at each other.
So he do like
So, yeah,
text his
what do you-
parents a picture.
What do you do? Yeah, the kid's there. He's okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, these guys have been taking care of him.
Nicole sticks her head out the window, I guess, and says, "Hey, Timmy, are your parents are looking for you? Do you want to go home now?"
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, these guys are cool, but yeah, I kind of want to sleep in my own bed because sleeping in that storage unit sort of sucks. There's rats. There's lots of rats.
That's
So
no
do
fun.
you mind? And she kind of looks at the gang like, "We can bring him home. We know where he goes."
Fiend turns to, I only got 4 seatbelts.
We'll deal with that.
You were the one talking about how it doesn't matter if no one sees.
We only got
I can
4.
walk home.
There we go.
home.
I'm just saying when he else got to walk. That's not like space.
Do you mind
it-
if we take the kid, please?
His parents are looking for him. Yeah.
Yeah, once you explain the situation, the guys are like, "Yeah, we found him running from something that was going on down the road.
On the
We,
Okay.
yeah, we were just looking after the kid.
Uh,
We were gonna bring him home, but he doesn't know where he lives. His parents need to get him out more."
we delivered pizza there, so we know where. I was about to ask something. Oh yeah. What's your name? I think Rylan wants to get to know this guy too. Ask
He introduces
everyone's
himself
name.
as Slick Rick.
What's your
Okay.
social
Slick
security
Rick.
number, Slick Rick?
He looks at you. He's like, "I don't have one of those anymore."
Ah. They are the people I see.
I can tell you my prison number.
Ooh.
Much more interesting prison
How many
numbers.
digits is the number? Is it-
27.
Ah.
There's a crime problem in this city.
Yeah. Funnily enough, there's more prison ID numbers than there are social security numbers.
Okay, yeah, I think Rylan spends a relatively short amount of time for him talking to this guy, and then I think guess who wants to get out of the car? Jordan, you said your character can walk.
Atari's gonna walk.
I can walk home. It is okay.
Right.
I will.
I'm pretty sure I specified on the pizza car weakness.
4 seats.
4 seats
No,
only.
it was no. Okay, I didn't do that. That was one of my thoughts for it. It was like, there's a
Oh,
pizza
that
thing
would've
in
been
this
so
car.
funny.
There's only 4 seats.
There's only 4 seatbelts. We put him like in between the two of us, so he's like strapped in, so I don't have to walk home with this
Okay,
gang.
yeah.
I thought it was my weakness tag, but my weakness tag is all the company logos.
Yeah,
Would be a
so
good
while
weakness.
Rylan's doing the talking, Nicole's like settling the kid in. It's
Yeah.
fine, we're gonna get you back home, and
Can anyone know the address?
I
You're the
Yes,
one with
would.
the
you get a
address.
case.
I would have gotten their address when I took it down. I actually will once we're back in the car if there's no issues there. I'm gonna call the parents like live on basically speakerphone, which is getting weird because it's an internal implant, so there's just like this voice coming out of my head, basically
It's like out of your ear.
out of my ear as if it's
Well,
a
you can like
speaker.
pair it to your phone or something. So
That's
it's like,
probably what happens.
That's
Yeah.
probably how the
Yeah.
thing works anyway.
Yeah. My
It's
parent,
just Bluetooth headphones as opposed to like a.
you're right. So yeah,
internal
I pair it to
computer.
my phone, and I ring the parents.
yeah, they answer. They're very grateful that you found their kid. They tell you that they'll be waiting for you to get there.
Yeah, I just let them know we're on Timmy. He seems like he had an interesting time, but is fine. I just tell them like, yeah, some people from the streets took him in, but they seemed like good people. Just took care of him. Should go. And I don't think he even had to say they didn't trust the cop. No one does.
Specify he has no trauma.
I think he's fine. I'm sure they know.
Okay.
I go
So
out of my way to basically mention we should probably not show up in the pizza car that took him away.
Listen, we glitter bombed those cameras, so they just see a pizza car blazing down the street and other cameras. They can't confirm that we were ever there.
Oh, they did, but we know at this point he went missing because
Timmy knows.
That's true. Well, you never
Picked him
told the
up. We
parents
did
that.
not
I don't
return
think
him
you
in
guys
the
told
We
the
never
parents
found
that.
out until after. Yeah, we never told the parents that. But Timmy will have probably like let it slide at some point.
At some point,
That's
or
not
right
our
away.
problem.
Like immediately, as soon as he gets home, it's like, I got in a pizza car, Mom. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the sort of professional appreciation we want here. Kidnap, get our own crime, and then we get paid
Yeah.
for it.
if you create the case, it's easy to solve.
That's an easy business model.
That's a really easy business model we could adopt.
I think Ryland will casually make conversation with the kid. He's curious as to what he witnessed and ran away from, but not in like a. It doesn't seem relevant to the case, but he wants to know he's okay and wants to make sure that was okay.
Yeah. So
I also wanted to look into the video I
You got
got
yeah.
just like while you're on the phone. I just put on my goggles.
Yeah, so while you watch the video, you see like Tim come into frame, and he like quickly looks over his shoulder, and then there's no audio, but you see flashes off to the like right side of the screen, and then like four people running, and one of them like holds their hip and almost falls over but keeps running, and then you see three CPD officers enter the frame from the same direction and like kneel and take more shots. It just looks like the cops were chasing down some gang members.
And the
Hmm.
kid got caught in the crossfire.
The kid ran away from the
Love
cops
this
alongside the
movie.
gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, Timmy basically says that there was gunfire, and his parents always told him just to run if he hears it, because that's the neighborhood they live in.
Good parent.
That's a pretty no. I think that's honestly. I don't know what this says about America. I also live in the South, so that's a pretty general rule. Like, you hear gunshots.
You hear gunfire, you go away.
You go the other way.
Yeah.
Just in almost any
Preferably
circumstance.
serpentine. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Literally, it's not a circumstance. That rule does not apply. If you hear gunshots, leave.
Yep. Okay.
So yeah, Atari, were you walking home, or are you all stuffed
No,
in the car?
we're all stuffed in the car because there's not that restriction. So we
Okay.
sandwich the kid between two of us in case of
Yeah.
a car accident. He doesn't go flying.
Okay. So as you're all heading home, the shortest route is actually to take there's an inner loop that goes around city center, and you just like loop around there. But as you're coming like off of that loop and heading back southwest, towards where this kid lives, the car starts shaking.
Forgetting the wheel. It's like, come on.
Does your car need service?
And then you notice outside the window that one of the lamp poles like falls over, and then the shaking gets worse, and you recognize an earthquake when you feel it.
This is, I think, one of
I
the...
drive really fast.
Oh no! That's the worst possible thing to do.
I
As a
try to
Californian,
outrun the earthquake to the record
Earthquake,
store.
you know,
as a
Yeah,
Californian, unless it's a big enough earthquake, you don't care. You're like, earthquake, and then you do whatever. Unless it gets worse, figure it
Well,
out.
okay, I'll trigger the Californian in you. You look out the window and see the asphalt is starting to split.
Oh, that's
Oh.
bad. That's bad. That's a bad one.
I drive real fast. I drive real fast to the record store. I don't know what I need to roll, but I'm rolling to drive fast.
Going toe to toe against an earthquake sounds about right.
Oh yeah.
Can I help?
I
So-
would like to help in some way by hacking the car to input the chemicals into the engine.
Oh,
Go
this is
faster.
not a. This
Tomato
is not a.
sauce right into the
This is
piston.
not a tech. This is not a tech car. The only tech is the pizza oven.
Oh no!
Does it run off olive oil? Like, can he like?
Oh, it's definitely biodiesel from the grease from the pizza oven in the back as part of the concept of this car. So it's a modified diesel engine that gets dirty pizza grease and fires it. It's gross.
I think. Oh, I can't help. I only have hurt points. Never mind.
Yes. So I have the pizza car. I
grab
have
the wheel and start trying to do
Stop!
your own thing. Like,
Stop!
no, this way.
I have company insurance. I know every street,
Okay.
yeah.
and I'm. How big of this seems like a big rule? I'm gonna save a couple. I'm gonna save a couple there, and then I'm gonna go toe to toe, right?
Yep.
Or is it face danger?
It could also be face danger. Actually, it really qualifies as take the risk. To perform a daring, risky, or outright stupid feat.
Hey!
Yeah, right. You do it somehow.
So there's just like
You
broken
outrun an
asphalt
earthquake.
ramps you'd like go off of, and
So yeah, you managed to outrun the earthquake. Yeah, Describe your erratic driving that defies the movement of the earth.
Well, there's a little bit of a jump. So we're going up an overpass. The earthquake comes. It cracks the overpass. We just speed up, launch off the overpass, and then that landing on asphalt where you feel the shocks give out, and then we get into the parking lot of basically around the corner.
I like to imagine there's that scene of like, we're not going to make it. We're too heavy. We can't do it. There's too many people. You press the button to release the garlic knots, which makes us just light enough to make the jump.
We're midair, like we're not gonna make the jump, and then you release the garlic knots like wings.
But it's like a half pound of garlic knots at most.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
It's for the beauty of the picture.
Yes.
Yeah, so we see the car arcing in the air, garlic knots fluttering in the breeze behind it, like so much chaff. And you like hit the ground, you overcorrect a little bit and you side skid into a clothing shop, like right into the window. No one takes any damage, but you smash into it, and the clothing displays in the window sort of fall onto the car. Everybody's okay, and the ground has stopped shaking.
Timmy, are you okay?
Yeah, that was fucking awesome.
Okay, good.
Just like the simulations.
I guess we need another way to get him home now.
I text the parents.
The
Change
car's okay.
Yeah.
Like you're just covered in some mannequins and clothing.
I don't get out of the car. I just keep driving, and it just falls like it rolls behind us.
Your car goes like collision detected, and it just shoots out like an incident report number.
Yeah.
Basically, with the insurance forms.
It's what the garlic knots are wrapped in.
The box in itself is an insurance form. It's like we are not responsible for all of this.
When you open it, it just has the list.
It's printed on the inside, like it's on the inside cover.
It's got a QR code.
Not liable for it.
So
you're all like taking stock, making sure everybody's okay. You look outside and you can see the cracks in the ground, and this billowing mist start coming up from the ground around the car.
Roll up the windows.
Well, we're right by my office, so I actually think Ryland is like, okay, if everyone's okay, I'm gonna go make sure my office is okay. I'll be right back. And he steps outside to go check.
I would guess that we might the earthquake might have hit a gas line. It might be safer to stay in the vehicle.
Is that true?
Yes. I have no idea. He just says yes.
So Theon starts flipping through the radio station, like the radio dial, to see if there's any like city broadcasts, or is it still just oldies in the afternoon or whatever?
Oh yeah, there's definitely an emergency broadcast that goes over the radio that telling people to remain indoors. Yeah, it's a fairly robotic sounding voice, like some
automated announcement
VI generated thing. That there was a massive earthquake downtown. Power lines are down all over the city. There's some structural damage, but it seems to be centered in the city center, like the worst of it, and it gets progressively less as you radiate out.
Nicole is kind of pushing, okay, well, we're fine, so let's get the kid home. Like, his parents are going to be extra worried because of whatever this is, and if we're out of the city center, let's go.
Ryland's not there.
Oh yeah, you gotta have to check on your office. We're just kind of like sitting in the car. It's like, we can go if you want. We can wait on
Bring little Timmy home, and then we will go back to wherever.
Here? Because that's where Ryland is.
We can come back to Ryland after the drop-off.
And he said he had mellow yellows. And we're still supposed to go to the duck pond.
Atari, unless you have a better idea for it, like stuck on the
I had a better
radio
idea
antenna.
for the.
Oh, you go ahead.
Yes, it was gonna be at the end. He would just like come home and there's a package that has his name, no return sender, and in there is the wolf jacket. That's
Oh,
what
there you go.
how he's gonna get it. Yeah.
Okay.
If we want a dumb tie-in, I do have to drop this kid home. I have to drop him off exactly where I found him.
Okay, yeah. Then
It's a specific myth reason that the puka does this. It like picks up travelers and takes them on an adventure, and then just drops them back off in the same place.
That's great. I didn't actually know that was part of your myth. I forgot.
Yeah, so it's part of their like. There's I guess sorted stories, but one of them is specifically like a puka picking up a traveler in the shape of a horse, and they go on an adventure, and then they just fucking drop them back off where they found them.
And expect them to continue on with life.
Yeah. So I got to make sure this kid gets home. That's like if we're looking for the tie-in for the event, I got to make sure the kid gets home. So without the thing, the next stop.
So the streets at this point are sort of caked in this mist. It is thick and about 2 stories tall. So Ryland, as you're like walking back to the office, this mist just overtakes you. It's hard to see. You finally do make it to the door.
Yeah. Hello? Scratch? You okay?
You hear some like rustling, and you notice like over in the corner a bunch of boxes have fallen over, and you see the boxes begin to move. He's like,
Yeah, man, what the hell was that?
Some kind of earthquake. I don't know. Are you okay?
like
Sure.
just continues to like shove boxes off of him, and he's like,
Yeah, I'm all right. Looks like Black Sabbath broke my fall.
Hopefully it's okay. I'm gonna head upstairs. I'm gonna go check on things up there.
I'd use the stairs if I was you.
Yeah, good call. And he like goes and exits from the front and then walks around to the back alley, then has to take the stairs. Yeah, how are things here?
in disarray. Nothing's like broken, let's say. Like there's a couple of cracks in the plaster. But like not too bad.
Coffee
Okay.
cup on the ground, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Your
The
water
jug
cooler
is
fell
knocked
over.
over. Yeah.
Yeah, your water cooler.
There's a big wet spot on
Yeah.
the floor. You gotta get that off before it ruins your carpet.
Yeah. I hoisted up. Water still spilled out kind of everywhere. Put the half full one back into the. I think for Rylan, he was gonna have a thing happen. I think he heads back downstairs. Says, "Hey, Scratch, do you got a mop or anything? If it ever comes manifestation of his thing, it might like person sense."
Yeah. Scratch like goes,
Yeah,
Oh, I
man.
said
It's
my own.
in the custodial closet. I got it over here.
and he like wheels out that big yellow bucket with the nasty ass mop.
Yeah, and when I reach to take it, I think I would imagine I can probably almost. Rylan takes a sec back and he looks at you and he says, "Okay, Scratch, you look a bit different." And I think that depending on how bad of a person, when we see Rylan's point, Scratch has this like. He looks like he's the same, but there's almost a different light filter on him, or it's almost like there's different light, either particularly bright or skin is particularly radiant or pale or things like that, depending on person.
Yeah.
You have chiaroscuro visual vibes on people, is what
Yeah.
you're describing, I guess.
It's
Yeah,
almost
he's
like
the vibe check guy.
Yeah, exactly. Vibe sense. And I guess the way that he sees it is it looks almost like they're wearing different makeup to make them look particularly one way or another. Not literally makeup, but like makeup that changes how their skin color slightly, how sickly.
they look cartoonishly
energetically.
evil, or they look cartoonishly good.
Yeah, but still like
like a
themselves.
filter.
Still
It's a
recognizable.
filter.
So if you'd like to do that, investigate. So
Okay.
evaluate a person.
Okay. Well, I have my detection.
And you can use your awesome tags.
Yes, I figured this is the awakening of his power tag. So I'll use detect good / evil. Does my missions eyes wide open tag work for this? I
Yeah.
don't know. Okay. Must eat metal. So actually, my weakness does matter. I haven't eaten.
Well, you don't know what's in those garlic knots, but yeah.
True. I just looked down
Trace
some of
amounts of aluminum.
Are vinyls made of metal? I actually don't know.
What's that?
Are vinyls made of metal? I don't think they are.
No,
I don't know.
No.
it's made of vinyl.
It's made of
It's
vinyl.
vinyl its own thing.
It's a
Why it's called that.
petroleum derivative, I
Okay.
believe.
I legitimately.
Yeah, it's a vinyl record. You can also get like linoleum ones, etc.
I'm gonna look.
8. Okay, so yeah,
Round.
you get your one clue, and you're basically asking like, what does this,
Yeah.
what does he look like
What's his vibe?
to your senses? It's interesting because like he comes across as whatever you would define the visual acuity of or the visual presence of a good person.
Okay.
But then the mist begins rolling in to the shop,
Mhm.
and it sort of muddles a bit,
As it
and
touches her.
and you get the sense that there could be a great evil here, possibly.
But also the sense of a good person.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
So
got a cool
at-
one.
Yeah.
He got a cool one.
So I think that Ryland like looks at him for at first before the mist rolls in. He's like, "Did you shower today?" Is it like that? Like that's a compliment? Like that's like a like, "Oh, you
Yeah,
showered
man,
today. Good on you."
I got a hot date later.
Nice. And then after it rolls in, and he looks like there's like almost a chill in Ryland's chest. All right. Well, everything's okay upstairs. I need to mop this though. I'll be right. Like, tries not to side eye him as he backs away. I think I'm gonna test my chance with the yellow. It says and tries it.
Okay. Yeah, it still works. It's a lot more creaky. I'm
that was possible.
tempted to make you take the risk, but
It's one floor, even if I fall.
yeah, I don't want to, flatten you with an elevator in session 1.
Elevator falls, you die.
But yeah, so the elevator door closes and the camera sort of pans back to Scratch, and we see like the mist roll in and like the silhouette of Scratch in the mist, and then we see like piercing red eyes and faint horns on the top of his head.
Did he get the devil?
Full on Satan or something like it is
Cool.
there. Oh boy,
Oh no.
devil is a hipster.
Oh, I used the old man that runs the shop. That's it. Yeah.
So meanwhile, in the car,
yeah, in the car, I think the mist scene for the quick wrap up of Fiance, because there's not going to be that much to it, and like the other two might have their own intro thing. It's straight up he just drops the kid off in the same parking spot that he picked him up from, and then gets the whiff of like mist that rolls into the car when that happens, and like eyes flash and or settle a different color or something stupid like that, not like a silhouette change into a demon, but the light indication that something happened when he dropped off the kid in the same spot.
And so during this car ride back, like Nicole's been fussing over the kid, making sure that he's okay, and like, okay, so Ryland's gone, so I'm going to be the face of this new thing, assuming I get the job, so let's do a good impression. So she's like, okay, and oh look, there's a rip in the kid's clothes, so she's like trying to smooth it down and make it go away. And if we want to do that, that would probably be the point at which the mist hits. if we want to just repair it.
Yeah, you see like a small tear.
Yeah. You're like smoothing it back together, and then suddenly it is back together, and it's nothing there. And
Yeah, when you're smooth them down in the parking lot before you you walk him up to the door to meet his
presenting to
parents.
parents. Yeah.
Yeah, his clothes actually look a bit better than they did when you picked him up, Fian. Like,
I actually thought of a better thing instead of he comes home to a jacket because he's wearing a sweatshirt already. I like to imagine when he gets dropped off by Fian and him and I gotta remember character names. Him and Nicole like part ways, right? Like it's chilly, so he like goes to throw up his hood and it turns into that like basically like Kigurumi sweatshirt, but the mist makes him think I've always had this, right?
Okay.
yeah,
Throw up the hood.
as the door, as you
head
walk
up.
in, yeah,
Yeah, dog
as you
head up
walk
with
in
the
and
ears.
as you walk in and close the door, the camera pans up into the courtyard of this block of apartments, straight up into the sky to the full moon,
Yes.
and we'll roll credits
metal.
there.
Oh no.
The cursing from his apartment then turns into howls, but to everyone else it just still sounds like cursing.
All right, so there's one more move we got to do here.
Yes.
Geek out during credits.
Okay.
Yes.
And let me show that to players. So at the end of the session, when the credits roll, go around the table. Each player can answer one or more of the following questions. Has the crew grown during this session? You can, if yes, recover a burnt crew power tag or mark attention on a crew theme.
We have made the crew.
Yes, we have all met and done a case.
Well, this
The
is
crew
is
has
this each
technically
person?
grown.
When it says go around the table, does it mean like each person answers this and it happens for every single player, or is this overall the table?
For the crew, I want to say that you're gonna do that once. Like you'll all decide if the crew has grown. And then the next two, I believe, are individual questions.
Okay.
So
yes,
yeah, if you think the crew has grown this session, we don't have any burnt power tags, so you can mark attention on the crew theme.
Yes.
Oh, which reminds me, when you guys invoked your weaknesses, did you mark attention on those cards?
Oh, I'll do that.
All right, next question. Which character had the most meaningful interaction with your character this session? Add one help point or hurt point next to their name on your card. Now, I kind of want to clarify that with, if the meaningful interaction was positive, put a help point down. If it was negative, put a hurt point down. Like, make it narratively make sense.
All right.
Is that one we go around the table on?
Yes, everyone can answer that one.
Can is an optimal word, but I think I had a meaningful interaction with Ryland. He seemed interested in hanging out.
We probably did end up
He
going
seemed
to that duck
interested
pond.
in making me feel welcome. He bought me Mellow Yellow. So we're gonna take a health point for Ryland.
Bought me Mellow Yellow.
I think I'm gonna pick Nicole because like, the detective I hired inside. So I'd say it's me. Definitely. She's the first person.
Going right back on that I'm also going to pick Ryland, as that was the person who I was focusing on and trying to impress most during the session for sure.
I think I'm gonna actually take a hurt point with Rylan because you shamed me into helping you.
I tried to appeal to your conscience.
It made him feel bad though.
Thank you for making me feel human. Have killed.
You reminded myself that I have feelings other than anger.
That need to be repressed.
Great. Okay.
And then the last question may or may not apply for this session. Which of your themes is under the most strain? If it collapses, what new aspect will show up in its place? So basically, if you have like crack or fade on one of your themes, this is the time to take stock of that and be like, that could break next session. What do I want to make it into if it does?
Mhm.
I have no crack.
And then how do you get crack on a thing? Crack or fade?
So there are a couple of moves that do it. Make a hard choice. Will definitely. So when you're presented with a hard choice with answers to your mysteries or your identity demands you act in a certain way and you ignore it, these are role play decisions that directly affect your character sheet.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think any of us really.
Yeah, we
Alright.
didn't really engage with mysteries and stuff like that since it's just the first session. It's supposed to be an easy just intro to the characters and everything.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I
But-
didn't even pay attention to my weaknesses. It was just
Nope.
let's get
Yeah.
a baseline.
but down the line, like pay attention to points in the story where your identity demands something or your mystery demands something or both, and you break one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at mine, and I already have my full. I don't know if I should have had.
Oh, that's fine to have something in mind now, but just like at the end of the session is when you can reflect on something that would make sense for what's happening in the story.
Yeah,
Like
it seems like more
have
of
that
a,
inform the change.
Hey, this one's getting closer to breaking. Are you ready for when it breaks? Kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That was fun.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
enjoyed
the
it.
basic premise of this game is those mechanics. We basically just I think we pretty much used all of them.
Oh,
Yeah. Because it's so
so-
flexible, there's definitely some learning of like how to handle it. Because it doesn't.
Yeah.
It uses different terms and has a different set than
I wanted to ask, did I get a story tag for hacking the street cameras? What did I get?
For hacking the
just-
street cameras.
Yeah,
Basically,
Status on-
it was status on the cameras. So
Yeah.
fictionally, I have that data, but not like a story tag that relates to that data.
You overcome the. In that.
I overcame the camera, right?
yeah.
I
Camera
just
was the
didn't know.
best
Yeah,
guy.
you inflicted the status to get rid of the security.
Mhm.
You
I just
didn't
didn't know
create
there
a
was more
story tag.
there.
Yeah.
If you did like the clue thing, you could get clues from camera.
Hmm.
But it
That's
seemed
a
like
different
I think the
approach.
reason that we
Yeah.
went with what we did was from how Zen described it. It was fairly straightforward. Once we got the data, it was, nope, this is just what happened.
Yep.
Okay.
At this point, do we get rid of the 4 guilty status that never actually went through for Atari?
Yeah, because I finished what you
Yep.
guys wanted me to do,
Yep.
so I don't
It
get that
never
status.
happened.
But I'm
Yeah,
still
okay.
zapped, right? That doesn't go away until I like fix it.
Correct.
Okay.
Or enough
And-
time passes. Like it, you know.
Yeah, if we're time jumping, then it would probably.
Yeah, it would
pass.
go away.
Okay. So I'll just
we can
get rid
figure
of that. Because we are time jumping, right? Like slightly.
Yeah.
Some or so?
A brief time jump.
Yeah.
Okay, free for thought.
So that probably.
Yeah,
goes
it'll be
away.
a long enough time jump that the city repairs itself. So, 6
Okay.
months ish.
Yeah.
All right.
And speaking of time jumps, I'll have to let you know about next week.
Okay.
Mhm.
So holidays are coming up, so we're not sure if we'll be available next week or not, but once back to normal, we'll definitely be regularly playing this.
Yeah, no, it's just
It's just holidays.
Might do
Holiday
one shot
season.
next
Yep.
week, depending on how many people are available.
yeah,
Mhm.
figure something out.
See ya.
Bye.